Chapter 200. What kind of person was Flying Cat? Li Fan was really curious. No matter how powerful the Qinggong, what could it be? Could it be that it could create wind on flat ground and leap 1,000 miles in one leap? Those were all mythical figures that would never appear in reality. Li Fan had even asked Moronging before, since ancient martial arts existed in this world, would there be cultivation? Moronging only rolled her eyes at Li Fan, thinking that he might have read too many novels. Yin Kai, do you think that in this world there is cultivation, immortality, and the like? Li Fan felt that it was a bit awkward for the two of them to stand alone by the lake in this high-class villa, so he tried to find a topic to talk about. Practicing martial arts can strengthen one's body and prolong one's lifespan, but immortality is absolutely impossible. Yin Kai was more knowledgeable in this aspect. For example, our sect's founder, Zhang Sanfeng, he only lived for 100 years. That is to say, humans are ultimately unable to break through the limits of their lifespan. Life and death are decreed by fate. Riches and honor are determined by the heavens. Yin Kai was very open-minded. So what if I die? I will still be a good man in 20 years. You don't believe in immortality, but believe in reincarnation. Humans must have some faith. Yin Kai laughed. How scary is a person who doesn't respect ghosts and gods? Although I, Yin Kai, am elegant and handsome, but I still need to have some respect. Get lost. Li Fan wanted to kick Yin Kai to the 9 heavens. But speaking of immortality, there was indeed such a legend in the pugilistic world in the past. Oh, what legend? Li Fan thought. Yin Kai continued. Legend has it that there was such an expert in the pugilistic world who was known as the Undying Evil Buddha. This person was extremely talented, and his martial arts were unparalleled in the world. Furthermore, he created a mental cultivation method called Vairocana Sutra. Vairocana Sutra. Li Fan's heart skipped a beat. This was the martial art that Lu Xinan had mentioned to him. This mental cultivation method sounds like a Buddhist technique, but it's actually very different. Yin Kai's expression turned heavy. This evil Buddha created this technique to absorb true qi from others and turn it into his own. This move sounded like his dragon-toad ingestion of water. Li Fan's ears perked up. It's fine if it's just Zhenqi, but I heard that even the opponent's blood will be absorbed along with the Zhenqi. Any martial practitioner who had their true qi sucked away would rapidly age. The undefeatable evil Buddha is using this to prolong his life. Is this possible? Li Fan had a mysterious feeling as he listened. I don't know the specifics. Yin Kai waved his hand. It's just some old Jianghu rumors. When I was disobedient when I was young, Master often used the name of evil Buddha to scare me. But now that I've grown up, I won't believe this. However, rumor has it that the experts of the major sects of the Jianghu fought with him for 3 days and 3 nights. In the end, all the experts died, and only then did he defeat him. If I can be a bad person to this extent, my life will not be in vain. Li Fan sighed. I don't know if I can leave behind any rumors of me in the Jianghu in the future. Brotherly, if you work hard, you should be able to. Yin Kai laughed. As for me, I'm so handsome that I can shock the Jianghu. I will definitely leave a strong mark. I think so too. Oh, Brotherly and I think heroes think alike? In the future Jianghu rumors, the former Wudong Mountain disciple Yin Kai was killed by the top 10 experts of the Jianghu. His death was horrible and appalling. Yin Kai's body trembled slightly. It was unknown if he was happy or angry. Let's get down to business. Yin Kai took a deep breath and calmed himself down. The security guards of this district are very fierce. In order not to alert them, let's climb over the wall. Yin Kai stretched out 2 fingers and pointed at the top of the high wall. What are you afraid of? Use your beauty to seduce the security guards. I guarantee success. I'm a man. Ah, so you're a man? Li Fan exclaimed. I just found out. I'm sorry, sister. Brotherly. If you do this, we can't be friends. No need to be friends. Let's just be passers-by. Li Fan declared. I helped you once, you helped me once. We're even. For the first time, Yin Kai felt so depressed. This Brotherly, Why does his words always carry the smell of gunpowder? Brotherly, let's climb over the wall first. Sure. Li Fan did not hesitate. He jumped and somersaulted in the air. Before his feet touched the ground, he jumped over the 3-meter-high wall. Brother Li's Qinggong is so handsome. Yin Kai kicked the wall twice and landed in the courtyard of the district. Looking at Li Fan, he could not help but praise. But compared to my cloud ladder, it's still a bit inferior. You're the best. You're the best. Li Fan could not be bothered to argue with this guy. This was not the first time he saw Li Fan's narcissism. But will the flying cat really come today? Li Fan squatted in the corner of the garden. After all, this was a place where the rich lived. The facilities were really good. There were flowers and grass everywhere, and there were mountains and rivers. In the entire district, there was a huge artificial lake. Around the lake, there were some beautiful villas. It was unknown how many lifetimes an ordinary person would have to struggle to live in such a place. Wine and meat stink at the gates of the rich, but there are frozen bones on the road. Yin Kai could not help but sigh. Regarding this point, no matter which year it is, it will never change. You can't say it like that. The rich have their own enjoyment, and the poor naturally have their own happiness. Li Fan did not agree with Yin Kai's statement. Furthermore, as long as one is strong and independent, the poor can also change their fate. But in today's society, how many people have this kind of awareness? Yin Kai touched his chin and sighed again. After all, there are fewer and fewer people like me who are handsome, confident, and righteous. What the fuck? This guy never forgot to praise himself. So is the flying cat coming or not? Which family has she taken a liking to? Li Fan did not want to bother with Yin Kai, so he went straight to the point and asked, "That's the family." Yin Kai pointed to a small villa with a few luxury cars parked in front of him. I heard that the flying cat has her eyes on this family's family heirloom. She even sent out a notice, and the owner of this family has requested help from the embroidered uniform guard. Our mission today is to capture the flying cat. Ordinary people can request help from the embroidered uniform guard? Li Fan was a little puzzled. To put it bluntly, the embroidered uniform guard is also the imperial court's lackeys. Yin Kai smiled. The owner of this family seems to know some important people, so he can get help from the embroidered uniform guard. All right. Anyway, I'll help you this time. But you must remember the promise. Chapter 201. You two must be the experts from the Genie Guard. I've been looking forward to your arrival. Li Fan and Yin Kai walked into the villa. A young man in a black suit immediately greeted them. My name is Peter. I'm Mr. Wang's assistant. I'm in charge of receiving you two. Oh? Yin Kai lowered his head and checked his nails as he said casually, "It's such an important matter, and your CEO Wang doesn't even want to show up personally?" "I'm sorry, Mr. Wang is a bit busy right now. He specifically asked me to pick you two up," the assistant quickly said. Li Fan didn't care, but Yin Kai swept his sleeves and coldly said, "Then let him be busy. Let's go." "You two, please wait." The assistant was shocked. If the two of them left, it would be disastrous. The two of you, please wait." Yin Kai and Li Fan completely ignored the assistant and walked out without looking back. This time he was helping Yin Kai, so Li Fan was very cooperative. In order to not let Li Fan's identity be exposed, Yin Kai specially made a black ghost mask for him. This mask only had one piece, and it just covered his face. It didn't block his nose and mouth, so he could breathe. The Genie Guard had such a thing. Sure enough, it was an organization that walked in the dark. Yin Kai even helped Li Fan prepare the waist tag. It was said that he casually got it. Who knows which unlucky person it belonged to? The assistant quickly caught up and apologized and begged, "You two, please don't go. We can discuss this. Without you two tonight, Mr. Wang's family heirloom would be lost, and I would lose my job." "Whether you lose your job or not, what does it have to do with us?" Yin Kai mercilessly said, "Our mission is to protect the thing. Now that we can't see the owner and the thing, we naturally have to go back." "Little Zhang, let me say it." Seeing that Yin Kai insisted on leaving, the door next to them was opened. A middle-aged man wearing luxurious pajamas walked out. This middle-aged man's face showed a look of displeasure. He seemed to be very dissatisfied with Yin Kai's attitude. You two, if you leave just like that, I'm afraid that a certain Lord Qian who will not be happy, right? The middle-aged man seemed to be implying something, but Yin Kai chuckled and said coldly, "What does that have to do with us? Director Wang, is this how you treat us when you invite us here? Let's get this straight. I didn't invite you here. You were sent here." With a cigar in his mouth, he said, "So what if he's from the Jianghu? Won't he still be used by me? Don't think that I don't know that once you embroidered uniform guards accept a mission, you must complete it. Wasn't this person's attitude a little too arrogant? What did he take himself for?" Li Fan felt a little uncomfortable, but he was in disguise, so it was not suitable for him to speak much. He could only rely on Yin Kai on this occasion. With Yin Kai's pride, would he be able to withstand Director Wang's ridicule? Let's finish the mission first. Then, we'll come back and beat him up, Yin Kai said to Li Fan using the 1,000-mile sound transmission technique. Director Wang sat there, unable to hear a single word. "No matter what, let us take a look at your family heirloom first," Yin Kai said. "What if the two of you spoil it? We're just looking and not touching it. How can it spoil?" Yin Kai was so angry that he wanted to laugh. This Director Wang, not only did he stink of money, his IQ might be a little low. A real treasure will be spoiled when it's looked at by others. Director Wang's words were very arrogant. His high and mighty attitude was unbearable. Li Fan felt that Yin Kai was just narcissistic. This person obviously regarded him as the king of heaven. This damn fatty, just because he has some money, he doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth? Li Fan's mouth twitched. If it wasn't to help Yin Kai with this mission, he wouldn't be bothered to work for this kind of person. Speaking of pride, a youth of his age was more prideful than anyone else. "We don't even know what to protect. How can we protect it?" Yin Kai questioned. "A bunch of poor thugs from the Jianghu." Director Wang sneered. "Fine. Today, I'll let you open your eyes." With that said, CEO Wang stood up and pressed on the wall next to him. The portrait of a naked woman hanging on the wall immediately moved to the side, revealing a delicate safe inside. Director Wang entered the password and opened the safe. Immediately, a golden Buddha statue appeared. This Buddha statue was only the size of a palm, but the craftsmanship was exquisite. The carvings were very lifelike. Li Fan didn't know much about antiques, but he could feel that this thing was not cheap. "Don't look down on this golden Buddha statue. This is an item from the Song dynasty." Director Wang chuckled. "I spent a lot of effort to get it. You poor bastards, if you take a look at it, your life will be worth it." Song dynasty? This is a private collection. It's illegal. Li Fan finally couldn't bear it anymore and said, "I asked you to come here to protect me, not to teach me a lesson." Director Wang scolded. "Two poor bastards. Who do you think you are to dare to teach me a lesson? I have money. I am the law. Do you understand? If the two of you dare to say another word, I, your father, will immediately find someone to skin the two of you. Do you understand?" Li Fan and Yin Kai looked at each other and smiled. Wasn't this what they wanted? "The two of you, what are you laughing at?" Director Wang didn't expect that after he scolded them, the two of them would actually laugh. "Director Wang, this golden Buddha statue of yours is indeed pretty good looking." The assistant at the side suddenly walked forward. Director Wang scolded. "What are you doing here? Move aside. This won't do, Director Wang." "After all, I can't resist the charm of this golden Buddha statue." As the assistant said that, he extended 2 fingers and suddenly poked Director Wang's body. Vein seal. Pooh. Director Wang's blood flow was immediately sealed. He stood there, unable to move. Only his mouth could move. "You, what are you doing? Peter, you don't want to work anymore?" "I'm not Peter." The assistant curled his lips. "Director Wang, take a look at who I am." As he said that, he stretched out his hand and pulled at the mask. This mask was actually a woman's face. Li Fan could only vaguely see an oval face. Then, it was blocked by the half-cat mask. It was a living person. In the blink of an eye, the assistant Peter had turned into a beauty wearing a cat girl's clothes. "It's you?" Seeing this woman appear, Li Fan was shocked. "Two idiots, thank you for your help." Flying Cat smiled at Yin Kai and Li Fan. Then, with his left hand, he kept the golden Buddha statue into a black bag. With a flick of his right hand, he threw out a handful of black nails. Like a hidden weapon, he threw them towards Li Fan and Yin Kai. Chapter 202. Li Fan grabbed the curtain next to him, and with a shake of his hand, the curtain was infused with innate qi, covering all the nails inside. Throw it away. Yin Kai slapped Li Fan's wrist, sending the curtain flying. Crackle, crackle. It was as if firecrackers were stuffed inside the curtain, making a crackling sound. Fuck, these nails are actually filled with gunpowder, Li Fan said. If Yin Kai hadn't helped him in time, he might not have been able to keep his hand. It seemed that his experience in the underworld was still too shallow. The flying cat had already jumped out of the window and disappeared into the night. Where are you going? Yin Kai had already taken the lead and chased it out of the window. The curtain was still swaying gently. Li Fan was about to chase after it when Director Wang shouted from behind. Don't go. Untie me first. Li Fan was about to help him, but Director Wang scolded again. 2 pieces of trash, dogs. You can't even protect my baby. Hurry up and untie me. I'm going to complain to your boss. I'm going to skin you. Ugh, Li Fan stood in front of Director Wang, who continued to scold him. What are you looking at, idiot? Hurry up and untie me. Do you know me? Li Fan pointed at his mask and asked, How would I know a pauper like you? I'm high and mighty. Do you understand? That's good. Li Fan nodded, then suddenly punched Director Wang's fat chin with an uppercut. Puff. CEO Wang spat out 2 teeth from his mouth. His body was sent flying high into the air. With a bang, he smashed through the ceiling above his head and hung there. Now you're really high and mighty. No need to thank me. Li Fan clapped his hands and looked at Director Wang, who was dangling from the ceiling. He was very satisfied with his masterpiece. When the maid heard the noise and saw Director Wang stuck in the ceiling, her scream pierced the night sky. However, Li Fan had already leaped out of the window and was chasing after the sky cat. The flying cat's qigong was indeed outstanding. People who didn't know better would really think that she was a cat demon who cultivated here. She sped through the night as if she was stepping on clouds. From time to time, she would soar a few meters into the air. Her figure was faintly discernible, causing Yin Kai to have a hard time catching up with her. Although Yin Kai was an outstanding disciple of Wudong, his qigong was much weaker. His speed was obviously not as fast as the flying cat, and he was soon left behind. Hee, you want to chase me with this kind of lightness skill? Flying Cat turned her head around and made a face at Yin Kai, who had been thrown far away. But she suddenly sucked in a sharp breath, because another embroidered uniform guard with a devil mask was following behind her with ease. Impossible. He had already used 70% of his qigong, so how could the lackeys of the brocade guard still catch up to him? Her master had said that her qigong was already unrivaled in the world. Even if she went up against the current martial arts alliance master, Morong Ying, she would still be slightly better. But now, there was actually someone who could catch up to her. It was truly inconceivable. Flying Cat recalled that she had met a young man whose qigong was also very amazing. Could it be that she had not been in the pugilistic world for too long that so many qigong experts had appeared? The person chasing beside Flying Cat was none other than Li Fan. He was currently using the deer scamper of the deer strike technique. Not only was this qigong fast, but it also had a strong endurance. That was why, after chasing for so long, even Yin Kai had been left behind by such an expert, but Li Fan was still able to keep up with Flying Cat. Every time his feet landed on the ground, he would use the force to bounce up, allowing his body to leap another 7 or 8 meters forward. Naturally, the amount of vital qi he expended was also much less. Lackey, your qigong is quite impressive. Flying Cat praised someone for the first time. But I haven't used my qigong to its fullest, so don't be too pleased with yourself. Then take it out and let me broaden my horizons. The corners of Li Fan's mouth curled up into a smile, maintaining the pretentiousness that an expert of the embroidered uniform guards should have. You can keep up now. Flying Cat shook her perky buttocks and strode forward with a pair of beautiful long legs. Suddenly, her body pressed down a few centimeters, as if she was almost sticking to the ground. Her legs continuously stepped on the ground, and her whole body suddenly accelerated, nimbly jumping between the buildings. Li Fan smiled. Although his Qinggong was not comparable to Flying Cat's, he had already made preparations in order to capture this girl. He extended his hand and took out a claw that was connected to a chain from his waist. This was what Li Fan had requested from Yin Kai beforehand. With this item, Li Fan's pursuit would be much easier. Flying Cat's Qinggong was elegant. She stepped on the edge of the building and leaped forward more than 10 meters, easily landing on the roof of the building. As for Li Fan, he was not in a hurry. After rushing to the edge of the building, he leaped forward more than 7 meters. Then, he threw out his claw and grabbed onto the water pipe on the roof of the opposite building. This claw was imbued with Li Fan's true qi, and it was as nimble as an arm. Li Fan pulled with his hand, and with the strength of the claw, he leaped forward a few meters. At the same time, his speed increased by 70 to 80%. Seeing that the embroidered uniform guards had actually used such a method to catch up to her, Flying Cat could not help but feel a little surprised. After leaping between the buildings a few times, Li Fan relied on this claw to get closer and closer to Flying Cat. What the hell? Flying Cat no longer had the arrogance from before. Now, she looked at Li Fan as if she had seen a ghost. This person relied on a claw to actually make up for the flaw in her Qinggong. Flying Cat looked at the electric pole in front of her and suddenly had an idea. She quickly jumped up the electric pole and landed on the electric wire. Every time she stepped on the electric wire, she would do it with one foot. This way, the electric current would not form a circuit in her body, and she would not get electrocuted. This was a Qinggong that only an expert like Flying Cat could perform. If an ordinary person stepped on such a soft electric wire, they would not even be able to maintain their balance, let alone one foot. Flying Cat would step on the electric wire with one foot and then bounce forward. This repeated, and she would advance forward. Li Fan did not have that ability, but he was not in a hurry. He stuck close to the ground and followed Flying Cat. Just as Flying Cat was about to jump a little higher, Li Fan suddenly shook his hand and threw a golden bullet at Flying Cat. Child's play. Flying Cat's body actually paused in the air for a moment, and the golden bullet flew past the bridge of her nose. At this moment, Li Fan's right claw left his hand again and directly hooked onto Flying Cat's shoulder. Not good. Flying Cat cried out in alarm, but it was too late. Li Fan pulled on his claw and forcibly pulled Flying Cat down from the air, which was already 10 meters in the air. Whoosh! Flying Cat used her Qinggong to counteract Li Fan's strength, but she was still thrown in front of Li Fan. Flying Cat, is it? I'll take it down. Chapter 203. Li Fan stretched out his hand to grab Flying Cat's wrist. However, Flying Cat was not an ordinary thief. Although she was panicking, she quickly calmed down and threw a bunch of nails at Li Fan's face. Li Fan used Ferocious Tiger Roar, and the sound wave exploded with true energy, blowing the nails away. Bang, bang, bang. Like playing with a firecracker, the nails exploded in the surroundings. Good fellow, are you trying to disfigure me? Li Fan looked at Flying Cat with lingering fear. It was said that a woman's heart was the most poisonous, and he had finally experienced it today. Who asked you to chase after me, humph? Flying Cat did not seem to be good at martial arts, but she had hidden a bunch of nails somewhere and threw them at Li Fan. After throwing them, she turned and ran, not wanting to fight with Li Fan at all. Flying Cat knew that her strength was Qinggong. However, Li Fan did not even use Ferocious Tiger Roar this time. Flying Cat's technique of throwing hidden weapons was too clumsy. With a wave of his hand, Li Fan created a gust of wind and directly swept the bunch of nails away. Flying Cat wanted to use Qinggong to leave again, but Li Fan's right hand grabbed her ankle and pulled her back to the ground. You are so annoying. Flying Cat turned around and scolded. You are so young. Why do you want to be a thief out of everything? Li Fan scolded softly. What does this have to do with you? Mind your own business. As Flying Cat said that, she flipped her little tongue and a black nail suddenly shot out from her mouth, heading straight for the center of Li Fan's eyebrows. Li Fan used great sage star picking and caught the black nail in his hand. This thing was definitely not gunpowder in Flying Cat's mouth. Oomph! Flying Cat stomped her feet angrily. Although she did not succeed, she still flew backward and tried to escape again. Li Fan reached out again, grabbed her hands, and pulled her back to the ground. Don't go. I haven't finished talking to you yet. I don't want to hear it. The Flying Cat was a little anxious. She was a little anxious. This embroidered uniform guard was too difficult to deal with. His Qinggong couldn't escape, and his hidden weapons couldn't hurt him. No wonder when he was descending the mountain, his master tried to dissuade him, saying that he was only good at Qinggong and that he would be at a disadvantage sooner or later. Back then, she didn't believe it, but now she had seen it for herself. If her Qinggong was ineffective, her Flying Cat would be helpless. Come, let's talk about life. Li Fan had no intention of letting the Flying Cat off. It wasn't right for her to steal something from someone else. Moreover, he had to rely on her to help Yin Kai pass this mission. That damned Yin Kai. Why wasn't he here yet? He was too slow. Was he an old granny? Just as Li Fan was grumbling, the Flying Cat looked left and right, seemingly looking for a way to escape. But Li Fan's hands were like iron hoops, causing the Flying Cat to be unable to struggle free. She was actually unable to escape. Damn it! Quickly let go. The Flying Cat suddenly raised her leg, and a blade immediately shot out from her foot, aiming straight for Li Fan's neck. This little girl is really vicious. As Li Fan spoke, he bit the tip of the blade with his teeth, forcefully blocking the blade on the Flying Cat's shoes. Damn it! The Flying Cat was somewhat afraid. She didn't expect this embroidered uniform guard to be this powerful. Her sneak attacks were all blocked by him. Logically speaking, an ordinary person wouldn't be able to react in time to her sure kill kick. But Li Fan was an exception. His unique slow motion caused the Flying Cat's attack to be ineffective. Just surrender obediently, Li Fan said. You won't be able to escape. That's hard to say. The corner of the Flying Cat's mouth suddenly curled up. You lackey, don't look down on me. As it spoke, the Flying Cat suddenly whistled. This whistle was strange, as if it carried some special true energy in it. Immediately after, countless pairs of bright eyes suddenly appeared around the building. When Li Fan saw it clearly, he realized that there were groups of wild cats appearing around him. They seemed to be controlled by the Flying Cat as they suddenly attacked Li Fan. The claws of these wild cats were very sharp, and even Li Fan couldn't withstand it. If there were only 3 or 4 of them, it would still be fine. But now, there were at least a few dozen of them, and they were densely packed together. They attacked Li Fan, forcing him to take a few steps back. At the same time, he used his crane hand to continuously hit the wild cats in front of him, slapping them away. These wild cats were only controlled by the Flying Cat, and Li Fan didn't want to kill them. Therefore, he was very careful and only sent them flying, but didn't kill them. The Flying Cat's eyes seemed to light up, but it wasn't the time to think about other things. She didn't dare to hesitate and immediately jumped up and ran. The Flying Cat's Qinggong was unparalleled, especially when it was running for its life, where it displayed even greater power. In the blink of an eye, she had already run more than 10 meters away. Li Fan suddenly shouted, and the surrounding wild cats fainted. The Flying Cat had already run far away, and Yin Kai was also by her side. Where is she? She went into the shopping mall over there. Li Fan and Yin Kai walked toward the shopping mall where the Flying Cat was hiding, but at that moment, a movie had just ended, and many customers came out of the shopping mall. These people looked at Li Fan and Yin Kai strangely. After all, the two of them were dressed like cosplayers in the modern world, or they were crazy. A short-haired girl in a denim skirt walked past Li Fan, bringing with her a fruity fragrance. Li Fan didn't suspect anything and was still looking at the shopping mall. The girl revealed a smile, turned around, and got into a taxi. She must have slipped away. Yin Kai was so angry that he slapped the small tree beside him, and a piece of bark fell off the small tree. This woman is not only good at Qinggong, she is also good at disguise. There are so many people here, and we can't find her at all. Looks like I won't be able to help you this time. Li Fan also felt a little depressed. It was his first time helping someone, and he still failed. It's okay. No matter what you said, you did help. Yin Kai comforted Li Fan. I am preparing. His gaze fell on Li Fan's back, and his expression suddenly became strange. Li Fan turned his head and saw Yin Kai's strange expression and subconsciously took 2 steps back. What are you trying to do? I said before. I don't have that kind of hobby. Brotherly, you're back. Fuck you. I will not carry it. You misunderstood. There is something on your back, Yin Kai said, and went forward to take down the thing on Li Fan's back. It was a piece of white paper, and a string of words was written on it. Big idiot. I will find you next time to play. The signature was a hand-drawn cartoon black cat. This damn woman. She fooled us all. Chapter 204. This woman, Flying Cat, made Li Fan feel a sense of defeat. Her martial arts were not as good as his, but she managed to escape his pursuit, causing him to suffer a loss. This kind of depression was really indescribable. Li Fan had been practicing martial arts for so long that he could be considered to have some small achievements. He was more or less a little proud, and his self-esteem also kept up. But now that he was played by a cat burglar, he was more or less unhappy. However, Yin Kai was a man of his word. Although he couldn't help him, he still decided to help Li Fan figure out the genie guard. Do you really agree with this plan, brotherly? The two of them rode on Yin Kai's electric donkey, and Yin Kai couldn't help but ask, why not? Li Fan chuckled. As the saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. This is my resolve. I'm afraid outsiders won't believe that there's actually a spy in the genie guard. Yin Kai muttered. The genie guard had stood in Jianghu for hundreds of years. It could be said to be an organization that transcended reality. Since the establishment of the Ming dynasty until the Qing dynasty, it was actually still maintained in secret. But the genie guard was more special. It wasn't a weapon of the court, but secretly carried out the work of fighting against the Qing dynasty. After the Republic of China, Yuan Shikai found the commander of the genie guard and signed a cooperation agreement with him. Since then, the genie guard actively prepared for Yuan Shikai's restoration. But at this time, the genie guard split internally. The commander's proud disciple betrayed him and used a secret technique to kill Yuan Shikai. From then on, the genie guard officially split into the Black Guard and the Gold Guard. The Gold Guard followed the commander, while the Black Guard followed his beloved disciple. Later, the beloved disciple joined our party, and the Gold Guard followed Jiang Jieshi. During the Civil War, it was also the 10 years of internal war in the genie guard. Later, the commander was killed by his beloved disciple, and the genie guard merged back into one and became a weapon of the government, carrying out dark missions. The identity of the Black Guard was also preserved and changed to Black Guard. Their identity was very confidential. Even the people inside the genie guard only knew their code names. Only one person was special, and that was Heartless Saber Yushi. It was said that this woman was the beloved disciple of the current commander-in-chief. She was born without any feelings and only had her mission in her eyes. Therefore, her nickname was the Heartless Blade. She was one of the few young masters in Jianghu who had reached the peak. This was what Yin Kai had told Li Fan about the history of the embroidered uniform guard. He didn't know much more than that. Li Fan's method was to personally enter the embroidered uniform guard and see what this organization was like. However, Yin Kai's electric scooter seemed to be a little disappointing. It ran out of battery halfway. You must be too heavy. Yin Kai's heart ached as he touched his beloved car. My car is a small displacement. Low capacity. Small displacement, my ass. Where did you get the displacement from? Can we stop joking around? In short, let's walk the rest of the way. Yin Kai carefully locked his electric scooter on the side of the road. He took out a coat from the seat and wrapped it tightly around the electric scooter. Be good and rest here for a while. Daddy will pick you up in the morning. Yin Kai patted the electric scooter and said softly beside it, Fuck, this lunatic. Li Fan wanted to kick him to the ground. This person might have a problem with his brain. Why was he talking to an electric scooter? What are we going to do next? Li Fan asked. Yin Kai looked at his Jordan shoes with a pained expression. There's still a long way to go. My Chia 12 will cry if we run so far. What about you? Hail a taxi? That's expensive. Why don't you carry me back? I'm light, only 150 pounds. Fuck off. Li Fan felt that he could laugh at this guy. Fuck, this guy really needs to take his medicine. Narcissistic and stingy. Too bad. Forget it. It's time to let my Chia 12 experience the passion of sports. Yin Kai looked at his shoes pitifully. Li Fan felt that he was not only stingy, but he might have a fetish. The two of them could only choose to walk. Fortunately, they were both martial artists. Their qigong was not bad. They walked quickly and did not feel tired. As for Yin Kai, he always chose clean places to rest. He decided not to touch dirty places. Li Fan finally understood why his qigong was so far behind. This guy had a mental illness. Big brother, let me give you a suggestion. Li Fan could not help but ridicule. Take off your shoes and tie them to your head. Then run barefoot. You will be able to increase your speed. How can I do that? That will hurt my precious jade feet. Jade feet, your sister. Brotherly, how can you be so rude? I want to beat you up. Can't you speak properly? Oh, I'm afraid of dirtying my feet. Fuck off. This Yin Kai was practically the same as Huang Lei. They were both clowns. The two of them would probably fight for the entire night. It was unimaginable that they would meet. That would definitely be the end of the world. Let's not think about it. Ba, I've sinned. Li Fan followed Yin Kai to the parking lot of a shopping mall. The genie guard's branch is here? Li Fan could not help but ask. Of course not. But only here can we go to the branch. Yin Kai said and brought Li Fan to a black Iveco. Genie guard Yin Kai, Zhang Yang. He had Li Fan raise his badge with him and wave it at the front passenger seat. The back door of the Iveco immediately opened. In this gloomy parking lot, the atmosphere was like a horror movie. Li Fan roughly understood Yin Kai's meaning. The two of them got into the back and the door closed by itself. The interior of the car was completely enclosed. One could not even see their fingers in front of them. But Li Fan felt the car move as if it was moving forward. All the genie guards below the rank of Qianhu can only use this method to return to the branch. Yin Kai used 1,000-mile sound transmission to inform Li Fan. Li Fan did not reply. After all, he did not know how to use sound transmission. Li Fan sat in the car with his eyes closed. But he released the qi in his body. Although the car was completely enclosed and there was no way to use qi to probe the outside, but the space inside the car could be explored. Li Fan's qi filled the car. His control of qi was getting better and better. Like sound waves, he could probe the surrounding objects. His crane hand, also known as a mortal crane flapping wings, relied on this principle to send the objects that entered the range of his qi flying. At this time, the qi filled the car. Li Fan was surprised to find that there was another person in the back of the car. Chapter 205. Li Fan suddenly opened his eyes. The true qi in his body was thick and full. His eyes were like the cold stars in the night, shining brightly. Yin Kai, who was sitting opposite, also closed his eyes to rest. He felt a trace of hostility from Li Fan and opened his eyes. In this dark carriage, he could see Li Fan's pair of starry eyes. Yin Kai could not help but murmur in his heart. This man's inner force was quite profound and pure. He was a few years younger than him and looked like a high school student. He did not know how he cultivated. He estimated that his talent was only a little bit lower than him. In terms of talent and inner force, Yin Kai believed that he would not lose to anyone. However, this Li Fan's external force was strange and ruthless. It made him suffer continuously. Where did this kid learn external force from? Did he really cultivate it himself? But Li Fan's eyes were full of hostility. Yin Kai immediately asked, "What's wrong?" "There's someone else in the car," Li Fan said without hesitation. These words were also for the third person to hear. Yin Kai's hand immediately touched his belt. Li Fan's palm was also infused with true qi, but that person still did not make a sound. Even the sound of breathing could not be heard. Li Fan felt that something was wrong. He took out his phone and used the weak light to illuminate the space in the carriage. A man sat motionless on the seat next to him. He did not respond to Li Fan and Yin Kai's gazes. Li Fan reached out his hand and pressed on his neck. He found that this person's body was cold and there was no pulse. He's dead. Yin Kai had already determined this person's condition and said. Li Fan frowned. How could there be a dead person in the carriage of Genie Guard? And this person was wearing the uniform of Genie Guard. Obviously, he was also a member of Genie Guard. Could it be that he died in an accident while carrying out a mission? Don't worry about him. At this moment, a voice came from the loudspeaker in the carriage. The driver obviously knew that they found the dead person. He said to them through the loudspeaker, "He's a traitor of the embroidered uniform guard. I'm responsible for sending his corpse back to the branch." The driver did not seem to notice the expressions on their faces as he continued, "The Imperial Secret Service has strict rules, and no traitors are allowed. The two of you can take it as a warning. All right, turn off your phones." There was no signal here at all. The car probably had a signal jammer or something. Although it was a little uncomfortable to be with a dead person, in order to infiltrate the Genie Guard, Li Fan still turned off his phone. If there was a signal, he could use his phone's GPS to find the location of the branch. After that, the two of them did not speak again. After more than 20 minutes, they finally arrived at the legendary branch. When the car door opened, the two of them were still in a parking lot. However, this parking lot was relatively empty, and there were no cars parked there. It seemed to have been built for the sake of secrecy. "Come on, let's take the elevator up." Yin Kai had been here before, so he was familiar with the place. He led Li Fan into an elevator. The interesting thing about this elevator was that it did not go up, but it went down. Li Fan didn't know which floor he had descended to, but he felt that the elevator had reached the place after a while. It shouldn't be deep. This place is a bit too deep. Li Fan looked around. The surrounding space was very big, and it seemed to have an antique architectural style. There were red walls and green tiles everywhere. Those who did not know would think that they had come to an ancient house. The place they just entered was a very long hall. Above the hall was a blackboard with a long list of names. Li Fan took a look. His name was at the bottom, not in a very conspicuous position. His eyesight was good. Although he was far away, he could clearly see the words on the board. Li Fan, male, 18 years old, identity, student, advanced level, Kung Fu, unknown. Although this information was not complete, it basically summarized his situation. However, the Kung Fu section was really funny. The 7 heroes' fist that he used was still unknown to the world. But Li Fan believed that it would not be long before this name would spread all over the world. Li Fan had the confidence of a teenager. They were not the only ones here. There were a few Genie Guards walking past them. Li Fan noticed that these Genie Guards were dressed differently. The most ordinary Genie Guards were like Li Fan and Yin Kai. Their clothes were mainly black and red. Basically, they had a black shirt and pants, with a long red waistcoat. They were not the lowest level Genie Guards. The lowest level was the small flag, who only wore a black shirt. And they were the Zhengqi, whose rank was slightly higher. Because of the change of dynasties over the years, the ranks of the Genie Guards were also reduced. Above the Zhengqi were the Baihu, then the Qianhu. Above the Qianhu were the commanders, and above them were the legendary 4 Great Blackguards. Li Fan had seen the clothes of the Baihu before. The red waistcoat had golden patterns on it, and the clothes were more exquisite. But Li Fan did not know about the Qianhu and the commanders, but the clothes and waistcoats of the Blackguards were all black. Only the waistcoat had golden edges. After taking a few steps forward, Li Fan saw the armory. There were all kinds of cold weapons. There were knives, spears, sticks, axes, hooks, and forks. There were no hot weapons. The government probably would not equip these martial artists with them. On the left, there was a prison system that wasn't very big. There was a monk locked up in this prison. He was stout and sitting there. He was like a small mountain. "Wine. Hurry up and bring me wine." The monk slapped the wall. His voice was like a bell, shaking Li Fan's ears. "You 2 little dolls, come here and bring wine to Lord Zheng. Is this how you treat your guests?" The monk's eyes fell on Li Fan and Yin Kai. He immediately shouted at them. What are you shouting for? And genie guard in front of the prison door took out his long saber and knocked on the bars, warning, "This is a prison, not a guest room. Shut up. Give me wine and I will shut up." The monk was still shouting. Yin Kai whispered to Li Fan, "Don't think that this monk is crazy. He is one of the famous 7 freaks of the pugilistic world. His nickname is Ox Monk. His physique is really like that of a strong bull. This guy is hard to catch. He is my welcome gift to the genie guard." Yin Kai was a little proud. Li Fan could not help but ask, "How did you catch him?" "Well, when I bumped into him, he was already drunk." Yin Kai chuckled. "I brought it over while I was at it." "Damn you." Li Fan rolled his eyes. He was the one who took advantage of him. Did they really think that he had been captured through a fierce battle? Just when the two of them were staring at Ox Monk, a Baihu walked over and called Yin Kai. "Why are you still here? The commander is waiting for you." Chapter 206. The commander is very angry. The Baihu looked at Yin Kai with disdain. "You should go and see him." With that, he turned around and walked away, muttering to himself, "TSK, what Wudong Mountain Genius disciple? He is only SOSO. If this was 2 years ago, I would have beaten him until his teeth fell all over the floor." Yin Kai pointed at his back and said, "What about now? Now that I have gained some enlightenment, I can bear with this kind of small matter. Fuck, this guy is really shameless." Li Fan curled his lips and silently rolled his eyes. With this uniform and badge, Li Fan was unimpeded in this branch. In Yin Kai's words, there were at least 800 embroidered uniform guards in the world. Moreover, there were people in every branch, and they often visited other branches. The only way they could identify each other was through their badge. The badge that Yin Kai helped to steal belonged to another branch of the embroidered uniform guard, so it was easy to deal with. "You walk around here. I will go to the commander's office. It's just up ahead." With that, Yin Kai strode towards the office, without a trace of guilt in his heart. And the reason Li Fan came to the embroidered uniform guard was to study this organization. He walked around the hall. Many of the rooms were locked, obviously not allowing outsiders to enter. However, there was a door with the words "Information Room" that was unlatched. Li Fan pushed the door open and walked in, only to find a pile of documents on the shelf. After all, this was a government department, so the collection of information here was really rich. Li Fan even saw some martial arts manuals on a shelf. Li Fan randomly picked one up. It was a Huashan sword technique, and it was a precious handwritten copy. If he took this out, he would definitely be able to sell it for a lot of money. However, Li Fan was not interested in sword techniques. When he turned his head, he saw a familiar cultivation technique on the shelf. Minor phaseless technique. Li Fan was really too familiar with this technique. He had fought with Li Wenjua a few times and was badly beaten by this technique. He extended his hand, and the minor phaseless technique landed in his palm. He began to flip through it carefully. There was a detailed method of circulating the cultivation technique, but Li Fan was just curious. He did not really intend to learn this martial art. After all, his body had already absorbed the minor phaseless technique and fused it with the heaven-swallowing toad. There was no point in learning more. Li Fan put the small phaseless divine art back and saw another book that interested him even more. The personal information of the undying evil Buddha. Was the embroidered uniform guard really a fortress? They even had something like this? Li Fan immediately took the document and began to flip through it quickly. It recorded the story of the undying evil Buddha. It said that the undying evil Buddha was a person from a small village. As a result, the village was caught in the flames of war and everyone was slaughtered. Only the 5-year-old undying evil Buddha survived. Alone, he almost begged all the way to Shaolin Temple and became a disciple of Shaolin Temple. But at the age of 13, he killed his master and senior brothers, including the abbot of Shaolin Temple at that time. He stole the secret manuals from the Sutra Depository and escaped into the pugilistic world. At the age of 18, he came out of seclusion and became known as the Evil Buddha. He fought his way into the martial arts assembly that year, defeated all the heroes, and took the position of the chief of the pugilistic world. But after he became the chief of the pugilistic world, he caused a foul atmosphere in the pugilistic world. In the end, several experts of the pugilistic world worked together to oust him from the position of chief. He fled into the mountains and hid. 10 years later, the 28-year-old evil Buddha came out of seclusion again. This time, he brought a real bloodbath to the pugilistic world. Revenge and slaughter filled the pugilistic world back then. This lasted for 50 years. For a whole 50 years, the evil Buddha still maintained his youthful appearance and did not age at all. Many experts fell victim to his evil hands and were sucked dry. And with this martial art, he obtained the title of the Undying Evil Buddha. Finally, after 50 years, the people of the pugilistic world could not stand his tyranny and rose up in revolt. At that time, all the heads of all the sects were mobilized and killed the Undying Evil Buddha at all costs. And the Vairocana Heart Sutra that the Undying Evil Buddha practiced was also submerged in history and the pugilistic world and disappeared without a trace. But there was a saying that it was buried together with the treasures of the Ming dynasty, and the secrets were left in the imperial jade seal. These records were not different from what he knew. Li Fan was absorbed in reading, and suddenly a fragrance floated to him. Li Fan immediately turned his head and saw a familiar figure coming in. A beautiful one-eyed woman just glanced at Li Fan casually and then picked up a document to study. Li Fan's heart skipped a beat. Damn, isn't this heartless Saber Yushi? Damn, why is she in this place? If she finds me, I'll really die. Li Fan immediately pretended that nothing had happened. He first bowed respectfully to Yushi and then casually read other documents. Yushi didn't know what she was looking for, and she didn't leave for a long time. And Li Fan was getting more and more anxious. He didn't know how Yin Kai was doing. Would the genie guard let him go if he didn't complete the task? Although he had made a solemn vow before, at this moment, Li Fan was still a little nervous. Last time he was able to defeat Yushi, it was because she had suffered a serious internal injury. But now she seemed to have recovered. Would he be able to fight her if she was in her heyday? What's more, this was the branch of the genie guard, and he didn't know how many masters were here. He must not alert the enemy. Thinking of this, Li Fan decided to leave the data room first. Li Fan plucked up his courage and put the information back on the shelf. Then, he strode out. He was getting closer and closer to the exit. Yushi didn't seem to notice him. Great. I should be more serious. I should be more careful when checking the information. Li Fan muttered as he came to the door of the data room. His hand was placed on the door handle, and his sleeve was pulled. Li Fan jumped quickly, and his true chi seemed to explode automatically, flowing quickly in his body. Li Fan turned his head and saw Yushi pointing at the hem of his clothes. There was some white dust on it. Was this woman a bit of a neat freak? Li Fan immediately bent down and patted off the dust. As expected, Yushi didn't pursue the matter and let Li Fan leave the data room. After he left the data room, he almost let out a long sigh of relief. Damn, it's really too scary. If they really fought, would it be good? Li Fan subconsciously walked towards the commander's office, and a loud roar came from the office. Yin Kai, I can't let you leave alive today. Chapter 207. Let's go. When Li Fan saw Yin Kai hurriedly running out, he shouted and ran outside. What happened? Li Fan subconsciously chased after him and asked, what did Yin Kai do to the commander that made him so angry? Well, this commander has something to do with that fatty Wong. While running, Yin Kai explained to Li Fan. The fatty Wong that he mentioned should be the boss Wong that Li Fan beat up. When I asked him if fatty Wong had licked his dick, he became angry and shouted that he wanted to cripple this old master. Yin Kai was somewhat puzzled, but the two of them are so close. If it's not this kind of relationship, what else could it be? Li Fan almost collapsed. This Yin Kai's head is probably full of things like long yang fetish. This idiot, can't he think of something healthy and green? Also, that so-called commander, his temper is too big, saying a few words and then he starts killing? Yushika is still here. If he let her make a move, he and Yin Kai would have no chance to escape. Catch Yin Kai. A skinny, middle-aged, embroidered uniform guard chased after him and shouted, "This person should be the commander of this place." Li Fan looked back and found that he was wearing black clothes, a golden vest, and a hat that symbolizes the commander. He has betrayed the genie guard. Kill him on the spot. The genie guard has an assassination order. So many of them are ruthless. For example, the last time he met Li Wenjua, in order to kill him, he did not hesitate to implicate innocent people. Li Fan, it's not too late for you to leave now. Yin Kai said to Li Fan, they don't know that we are together, so you won't be implicated. We came in together, and we will leave together. Li Fan said without hesitation, although I hate you, I will not be a villain. As soon as he finished speaking, 3 banner guards of the embroidered uniform guards rushed over from the side. Each of them carried a goose feather saber and pounced towards Yin Kai. No matter what, Yin Kai was still an expert who had reached the next level. With the help of his inner Taiji, he did not care about these 3 imperial bodyguards. He shook his hands, and the power of Tai Chi burst out. The bodies of the 3 small flags were immediately sent flying. The real killer move came from behind. While Yin Kai was dealing with the 3 flags, the commander threw out 3 black darts. The darts drew an arc in the air and flew towards Yin Kai's back. If they really hit him, Yin Kai would probably be lying on the ground. Fortunately, he had Li Fan by his side. With a twist of his body, Li Fan tossed out the grappling hook hanging from his waist. The claw shook in the air and flicked away the 3 darts. So he has an accomplice. The commander looked at Li Fan coldly. Take him down as well. Leave the eldest disciple of Wu Dang to me. At this moment, a Baihu wearing a gold-rimmed red vest jumped down from the blackboard. He looked at Yin Kai with a smile on his face. It's the killing saber. The 2 banner guards at the side did not make a move. They were just watching the show. One of them said excitedly, he is good at using 2 swift sabers. His saber skills are as fast as the wind. Many people in Jianghu tremble in fear when they hear his name. Ever since he joined the embroidered uniform guards, he has been very successful. In less than a month, he has been promoted to the position of Baihu. I heard that he has his eyes on Li Fan, who is on the blacklist, and is planning to take him down and promote him to a Qinhu. Wow, he's so powerful. The other banner guard was a little envious. Of course, now those 2 flag commanders are dead for sure. When the killing saber heard these words, he smiled proudly. He pulled out his saber from behind his back. Seeing Yin Kai and his accomplice standing together, he was ready to take their heads. What eldest disciple of Wu Dang? That was just an empty title. His swift saber had never failed before. The 2 sabers were about to cut the necks of Li Fan and his accomplice. But at this moment, the 2 of them moved together. Get lost. Don't block the way. Yin Kai pulled with his palm. A suction force was generated. The killing saber staggered forward, and his body lost balance. Li Fan's tiger claw landed on his head and threw him to the ground. Bang! The floor cracked. The killing saber fainted. The 2 banner guards at the side were dumbfounded. These 2 banner guards actually crushed a Baihu. Am I dreaming? Li Fan knocked out the so-called killing saber. When he turned his head, he saw Yushi standing in the information room. She was still calmly looking at the information inside, as if she did not care about the commotion outside. That's good. Li Fan breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that Yushi did not care about this kind of thing at all. She probably felt that there was a commander outside who could handle this kind of thing. Truly trash. This seat will personally take care of you. The commander's body shot out. He jumped high in the air and threw out a row of black darts. Dang, 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 dang. They nailed the ground in front of Li Fan and his accomplice, blocking Li Fan and Yin Kai's footsteps. With this seat here today, none of you will be able to escape. As the commander spoke, the true chi on his body began to fluctuate. Soon, his clothes began to bulge, making him look slightly bloated. He no longer looked as thin and weak as before. Using true chi to strengthen your body can produce an effect similar to the alien bone-changing technique. Yin Kai explained to Li Fan, he is an expert who has reached the pinnacle. Be careful. Come, come, come. I'll play with you. Li Fan crooked his finger at the commander. Childish. The commander coldly snorted and waved his hand at the wall beside him. A great spear hanging on the wall immediately flew up. It spun a few times in the air and finally landed in his palm. Letting the two of you die under this seat spear is not a waste of your life. Give up. I, Yin Kai, am someone who wants to be an international model. How can I die here? Yin Kai's dream is really ambitious. It made Li Fan wipe his cold sweat. What a gibberish, the commander said as he waved his great spear. This seat's divine dragon spear will take your life. With that, the commander's great spear suddenly stabbed forward. It was indeed clean and neat. It turned into a black shadow and went straight for Yin Kai's throat. However, Yin Kai was still an expert. He accurately placed his hand on the spear's shaft and pulled it behind him. The power of Tai Chi is specialized in borrowing force. The commander was pulled forward by his own force and staggered a step forward. Li Fan followed up with a move. He raised his leg and kicked the commander's chin with a white deer kick. Normally, a kick that could explode a person's head was kicked on the commander's head. However, it only made his head lift up. There was even smoke coming out of his chin. Chapter 208. Lesser Phaseless Magic. The embroidered uniform guards all use lesser phaseless magic to strengthen their defense. The commander's strength was obviously that he had practiced this martial art to the acme of perfection. Li Fan's white deer reverse kick landed on the commander's face, but it did not cause any damage. The commander's face only twitched a bit, but there was no wound. Did you not eat? The commander sneered. How come you don't have any strength? Do you think you can hurt me with just this little bit of martial arts? Ridiculous. Don't be too proud. Li Fan readjusted the chi in his body, keeping himself in peak condition. After all, the commander's strength was at the peak, much stronger than both Li Fan and Yin Kai. If they did not join hands, they would not be able to defeat him. Yin Kai, if it was 2 years ago, you might have been able to fight with me. The commander said to Yin Kai, but the current you, I do not even put you in my eyes. And your accomplice, no matter who you are, serves you right today. You're destined to die here. Don't be provoked by him. Yin Kai transmitted his voice to Li Fan. His nickname is the Dragon God Spear. His spear technique is outstanding, and he is especially good at provoking his opponent. If you fall for his provocation, it is equivalent to falling into his trap. I understand, Li Fan said softly, causing the commander to laugh. Ha ha ha, no matter what the two of you are talking about, you are destined to die today. With that, he took a step forward and brandished the great spear in his hand. With a sweep of 1,000 caddies, it was as if he wanted to flatten everything. This time, the commander was prepared. The chi and strength of his spear were too strong. Even if Yin Kai used his internal Tai Chi, he would not be able to completely dissolve it. Yin Kai's outstretched hand was repelled, and the spear tip swept towards Yin Kai's neck. Yin Kai hastily lowered his body, brushing past the spear tip to avoid this attack. As for Li Fan, he stretched out his arms and filled them with chi, blocking the commander's great spear. Bang! Li Fan's body was sent flying by the shockwave, and a powerful force erupted from his body. He swam more than 3 meters away before he stabilized his body. Li Fan shook his arms, which were already completely numb. You actually managed to block my spear. The two of you have no regrets in this life. The commander shook his spear. The tip of the spear was filled with powerful primary energy, seemingly forming a ray of light. Yin Kai, you have to hold on. Li Fan shook his arm to dispel the numbness. Yin Kai laughed and directly pulled out his belt from his waist and infused his true chi into it to form a sword. I can handle him with one hand. Shit, it's obviously your other hand that's holding onto your pants. If you don't grab me, won't you be naked? What if the wind blows my butt out of shape? Fuck off. The two of them started scolding each other, and the veins on the commander's forehead bulged. He was obviously infuriated. The two of you are actually chatting? You're really brave. The commander suddenly sneered. Forget it. You're going to die anyway. If you have any last words, just say them. I won't die here. Idiot, bring it on. The two of them hooked their fingers at the commander at the same time, causing the commander to sneer again. Good, good, good. Let's see how much you two can struggle before you die. Tai Chi sword. Yin Kai waved his Tai Chi sword and directly stabbed towards the commander. The suction force of the Tai Chi sword gave the commander a headache. But what gave him an even bigger headache was that Li Fan, who was standing there, suddenly roared, and his body suddenly expanded a bit. From a muscular man of more than 7 meters, he expanded to more than 9 meters in the blink of an eye. But to Li Fan's surprise, the clothes and vest on his body were also stretched out. They were a few sizes bigger, but they didn't burst. What material is this clothes made of? It's so awesome. The commander was not surprised by the clothes, but he was surprised that this embroidered uniform guard's abnormal bone-changing technique. Bear. Mount. Army. Li Fan roared, the energy on his body trembled and spread out in all directions. Yin Kai's treasured sword was already in front of the commander's eyes. The commander directly stretched out his right hand and grabbed the sword. Although there was a strong black hole-like energy on it, the commander's minor phaseless technique was also very strong. He used his hand to block the sword. The sleeves around him were shredded, but his palm was unharmed. At this time, Li Fan had already arrived in front of the commander and slapped him with the Ursa Major seal. Bang! The commander's other palm followed, and the two men's palms collided. True Chi surged out, and Li Fan was almost sent flying, but his feet were firmly planted on the ground. It was as if his feet were rooted to the ground, and he did not move. Li Fan did not use the dragon toad's absorption of water. After all, this move was too evil and high profile. If he was not prepared to kill in one go, Li Fan would not use this move to avoid alerting the enemy. But the commander's strength was indeed strong. Fighting 1 against 2, he was not at a disadvantage and even sent both Li Fan and Yin Kai flying. Weak, too weak. The commander said disdainfully, the two of you want to defeat me with these fancy moves? What a fool's dream. And you are not an embroidered uniform guard. Who are you? The commander's gaze landed on Li Fan. You actually dare to impersonate our embroidered uniform guard. You really have guts. My embroidered uniform guards branch is not a place where you can come and go as you please. I really like to walk around when I have nothing to do. Li Fan laughed. The air in this place is a bit bad. It's like a tomb. How shameful must you be to hide in such a desolate place? Shut up. You really have guts. The commander was enraged. The embroidered uniform guard has been established for so long, but this is the first time I have seen such a crazy person like you. If I do not tear you into pieces today, I will kill myself with my dragon god spear. With that, he suddenly leaped, and the spear in his hand seemed to transform into a dragon as it stabbed towards Li Fan. Brotherly, be careful. Yin Kai immediately extended his hand and activated his Tai Chi power. A nearby table was pulled up by this power and blocked in front of the commander. Bang! The table was directly torn apart by his spear, and the tip of the spear was in front of Li Fan's nose. Huh! No matter how fast the opponent's spear was, it was still slower than Li Fan. Thus, the commander had miscalculated. Li Fan leaned to the side and dodged the commander's spear. At the same time, he grabbed the spear with both hands. Chapter 209. Li Fan is currently in the Bear Rider state, so his strength is at its peak. He holds the great spear with both hands. Although the commander's strength is not weak, he has just used up all his strength and has yet to recover. Li Fan grabs the spear and swings it with brute force, fiercely smashing it into the wall beside him. Tai Chi palm. Yin Kai follows up with a palm strike, slapping the commander's chest. Bang! The commander's body presses against the wall, causing cracks to appear. The two of them work together again, using all their strength. On the other hand, the commander cracked his neck, pulled himself out from the gap in the wall, and landed on the ground again. The little phaseless magic greatly strengthens this fellow's defense, causing Yin Kai and Li Fan to feel despair. Are you in despair? The commander's voice carries a sense of supremacy, as if he does not place Yin Kai and Li Fan in his eyes. The little phaseless magic is too heaven-defying. Although Yin Kai's strength has greatly decreased, his Jianghu experience is abundant, but he definitely has a weak point. As long as we find it, we will win. Let's test his weak point. Li Fan and Yin Kai charge forward again. The two of them choose to be agile and continuously use their fists and legs to attack the commander. This commander is like a Vajra god of war, not caring about the two's attacks at all, allowing them to hit him here and there. As for whether he will wave his dragon god spear and counterattack the two of them. The two of them do not dare to face his attacks head-on and choose to dodge. Two monkeys, are you still stubbornly resisting? The commander's face is full of mockery. It's useless. You will only end up as ghosts under my spear. Li Fan did not refute. He has already kept the bear rider and switched to using the crane strike technique, attempting to hit the commander's weak point again and again with the white crane strike. However, after hitting many acupuncture points, the commander is still safe and sound, as if the one being hit is not him but someone else. The two of them try many times, including piercing his eyes. Hit for me. Yin Kai kicks the commander's crotch, but the commander still has a smile on his face. Tai Dan, have you two had enough fun? The commander's eyes were still filled with mockery, while Yin Kai's brows furrowed deeply. That shouldn't be the case. The minor phaseless god technique does indeed have a weak point. Where exactly is his weak point? Li Fan glanced at Yin Kai, then at the commander. For some reason, he suddenly had a strange thought. Go ask the king of hell. The commander suddenly thrust out his spear again. Li Fan could tell that this fellow was not using his full strength each time. It was as if he was toying with the two of them. But the more the commander despised them, the happier they were. Li Fan was waiting for a surprise attack. He suddenly rolled on the ground and flipped behind the commander. Then, he kicked the commander's anus. Unexpectedly, the commander subconsciously turned around and fired a shot, forcing Li Fan to retreat. With a backflip, he landed on the ground and exchanged a glance with Yin Kai. He had found his weak spot. Motherfucker, this fellow's weak spot was actually his anus. Fuck, he really knows how to find a place to hide. This place was really something that ordinary people would not be able to find. If he did not suspect that Yin Kai was an anus, he might not have found it either. So what if you found it? Can you hit it? The commander seemed to be getting serious. He suddenly swept his spear, bringing with it a sharp chi. Shwa. Li Fan and Yin Kai were forced to take a step back at the same time. The ground seemed to have been carved with an iron pin, leaving a deep one. The commander held the divine dragon great spear in his hand and sneered, I have to praise you. You actually found this seat's weak spot. But this is of no help to you. With that, he raised his spear and attacked Li Fan and Yin Kai. At this time, the commander used at least 80% of his strength. The spear tip carried a terrifying chi which was many times stronger than Yin Kai's Taiji sword. Li Fan and Yin Kai hurriedly rolled to the side. The spear stabbed a statue at the side. This statue of an unknown big brother was immediately stabbed and directly exploded. It looked like it was in pain. You two little bugs, where are you hiding? Obediently come to this seat and die. Fuck, are you retarded? How is that possible? Li Fan could not help but raise his middle finger at the commander. This fellow was too troublesome. Fortunately, Yushi was still reading the information in the data room and did not care about what was happening outside. Even the commander himself did not ask for help from Yushi. If he asked for help from Yushi, he would be disgraced as the commander. Our Lord Commander is angry this time. The two little flags who had been watching the show started to discuss again. That's right. Even if he won a Baihu, he would not be a match for our Lord Commander. The other little flag nodded. Let's make a bet. Bet on what? Bet on when they will die. Listening to the discussion of the two little flags, Li Fan became unhappy. Fuck, how inauspicious. You two kids, what are you waiting for? Let me out. I want to fight 300 rounds with him. At this moment, Monk Nyo, who was locked in the cell, suddenly roared, "Are you a man of your word?" Yin Kai was overjoyed. If this Monk Nyo was willing to join the battle, their chances of winning would be much higher. A monk does not lie. Monk Nyo placed his palms together and muttered, "That's good." Yin Kai snatched the key from one of the little flags and opened the cell for Monk Nyo. In the end, Monk Nyo jumped out and directly attacked Yin Kai, causing Yin Kai to react in panic. "Why are you hitting me?" Yin Kai was still in a daze. "You are the one who captured me. If I don't hit you, who else should I hit? Didn't we agree to only hit the embroidered uniform guards?" A monk does not lie. "You are sick in the head. Look at which monk drinks." Monk Nyo's words caused Yin Kai to be speechless. With Monk Nyo holding Yin Kai back, the pressure on Li Fan was like a mountain. The commander was much stronger than him. With Yin Kai around, it was still better. Now that Yin Kai was not around, he could not handle it alone. Li Fan suddenly had an idea and shouted to Monk Nyo, "Monk Nyo, help us out. I will treat you to some good wine." "Waha, kid. Remember what you said? Don't worry. My words are more reliable than yours." Li Fan's invitation to drink was more useful than anything else. Monk Nyo immediately roared and picked up the body of a little flag beside him. He swung it like a club and smashed it towards the commander. Chapter 210. Although Shao Qi's body was protected by the little phaseless magic technique, he was still being used as a weapon by Monk Nyo. After all, Shao Qi was his subordinate. The commander could not be merciful. He kept his spear and stretched out his right hand to catch Shao Qi's body. But what followed was Monk Nyo's fist the size of a clay pot. Bang! This fist was blocked by the commander's spear. The commander's spear did not even shake, showing how strong he was. "Monk Nyo, do you think you can defeat me?" The commander held a dragon spear in his hand and looked at the huge man in front of him with contempt. "I can break your spear with just a bit of strength," Monk Nyo said as he grabbed the commander's spear with both hands. "Hee, I want to see if you have that ability." The commander's spear suddenly exploded with a huge amount of chi, repelling Monk Nyo's hands. Monk Nyo gave up on the spear and took a step forward. He grabbed the commander's shoulders with both hands. Li Fan could see clearly from the side that Monk Nyo's moves were mostly based on smashing. However, the commander was protected by the minor formless divine technique. It would be difficult for him to hit him. "Monk Nyo, let me help you." Yin Kai used both hands to pull the commander's spear, trying to block his attack. Monk Nyo's hands were already on the commander's shoulders. He actually lifted him into the air, ready to smash him down at any moment. Child's play. The commander's expression did not change. Even though his body was upside down in the air and his spear was being pulled, he still used his other hand to slap Monk Nyo's forehead. Although the commander was most proficient in spear techniques, he had the little phaseless magic technique. The strength of this palm technique was not light. When the palm landed, it had the power to break through wind and thunder. Monk Nyo's forehead was hit and blood flowed out of his nose. But he still stood there and slammed the commander's body against the wall behind him. Boom! The wall collapsed, and the three of them crashed into the room next door. This was not the end. Monk Nyo continued to push the commander's body, breaking through 3 rooms in a row. Finally, he slammed the commander's body into the last wall. Even though Monk Nyo had also reached the peak of perfection, it was clear that his martial arts had only just reached this level. He only had about the strength of 4 dragons. As for this commander, he had the strength of at least 5 dragons. His strength was enough to crush them. This was reaching the peak. According to Morong Ying, if one wanted to become a grandmaster, they would need at least the strength of 10 dragons. On the other hand, Li Fan only had the strength of 6 tigers, which was the strength of 1 dragon and 1 tiger. The difference between him and the commander was too great. If it wasn't for the fact that the commander hadn't used his full strength, he and Yin Kai would have already met their maker. especially since the commander's body was protected by the powerful lesser phaseless god art. He was smashed through so many walls, but he was still safe and sound. He was stuck upside down in the wall, and he only sneered at Monk Nyo. That's it. The commander's smile made Monk Nyo feel like he was about to collapse. This fellow, what a tough body. Monk Nyo was speechless. Looks like it won't be easy to drink this wine today. Hades has already prepared a cup of wine for you. As the commander spoke, he prepared to kill Monk Nyo. But at this moment, a shout came from behind Monk Nyo. Lower your head. When Monk Nyo heard this voice, he did not hesitate and immediately locked his neck and squatted down. At this moment, Li Fan's figure appeared behind him and fiercely kicked the commander's head. Li Fan did not make a move just now. He was waiting for this opportunity, and at the same time, he was secretly accumulating his chi. The white deer back kick was a move that required sufficient accumulation of strength. Now that he was given such an opportunity, how could he not use it? At this moment, the sole of his shoe was imprinted on the commander's face. Li Fan heard a crisp cracking sound. It seems like the commander's skull was cracked by his kick. Bang! A large piece of the wall behind him also exploded. Rubble flew everywhere, and smoke billowed out. At this moment, the great spear suddenly broke through Yin Kai's blockade and swept towards Li Fan's abdomen. Li Fan was pulled out and fell to the side pathetically. The smoke slowly dissipated. The commander's mouth was bleeding and his eyes were filled with blood. He stared at Li Fan. Fuck! This fellow's cultivation is so high that it's scary. He used his head to eat my white deer back kick of 200% strength and is still alive. Li Fan could not help but give him a thumbs up. This is too fierce. You actually dared to injure me. The commander's teeth fell out. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and roared. Airwaves danced in all directions. Even Monk Nyo's body was somewhat unstable. Did this commander use his full strength? Everything in the room was vibrating, as if it was being pulled by the commander's strength. A man with the strength of 5 dragons, even Morong Ing would need to spend some effort to deal with him. And Li Fan's strength was still too weak. To challenge such an expert now was beyond his limits. All of you must die. It was unknown whether it was because of fresh blood or anger. The commander raised his dragon god spear, and his eyes were bloodshot. This person is too strong. Why don't we retreat? Yen Kai asked. We have nowhere to retreat. We must kill him. Li Fan understood that if they retreated now, they would only die. This kid is right. What are you afraid of? This Buddha will kill him together with you. As Monk Nyo spoke, he wrapped his arms around a pillar at the side. Then, his arms swelled up, and with a crack, he actually broke the pillar off. Lackey of the imperial court, go and die. Monk Nyo swung his arms and the thick pillar flew towards the commander. Scram! The commander roared angrily and thrust his spear forward with his left hand. It was as if a divine dragon was dancing in the air. Boom! The pillar was instantly broken by the spear and turned into large pieces of rubble that flew in all directions. Li Fan used the crane's hand technique to continuously deflect the stones that flew in front of him. Li Fan was indeed a little anxious. This was the enemy's headquarters. The longer they dragged this out, the more disadvantageous it would be for them. Once other Baihu or Chinhu heard the news and came over, they would probably fall into the abyss of death. That's right, Achilles' heel. Attack his Achilles' heel. Yin Kai, help me create an opportunity. Li Fan begged. All right, this Taoist will fight it out with him. Yen Kai let out a long roar and used his Qinggong to dash towards the commander like a gust of wind. Die! The commander roared and the spear in his hand turned into a bolt of lightning. Chapter 211. The commander's spear was like a bolt of lightning, stabbing towards Yen Kai. What the commander and Li Fan did not expect was that Yen Kai did not dodge the spear. He opened his arms wide and welcomed the spear, allowing the dragon god's spear to stab into his abdomen. The dragon god's spear easily tore through Yen Kai's abdomen and came out from his back. bringing with it dark red blood. Yin Kai laughed loudly and grabbed the spear with both hands. Following that, the power of Tai Chi began to circulate in his body. Coupled with the strength of his muscles, he forcefully held onto the spear, preventing the commander from pulling it out. What? The commander tried to pull the dragon god spear twice, but it did not budge. It was obvious that Yin Kai had sealed it. How is it? Do you still think this Taoist is easy to bully? Yin Kai's mouth was stained with blood, but he was smiling very happily. Damn it! The commander roared again and again, wanting to tear Yin Kai into 1,000 pieces. But at this time, Li Fan, who had unknowingly appeared behind him, held his right wrist with his left hand and aimed at the commander's chrysanthemum. 1,000-year kill. Li Fan had been gathering true energy on his finger for a long time, and he shot it out like a bullet. The commander turned around and saw a wave of energy instantly appearing behind him. His eyes were filled with fear. He wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Pooh! Red blood burst out from the commander's buttocks. His eyes bulged out and his mouth opened wide. At that moment, a trace of tears rolled down from the corner of his eyes. The commander's body trembled slightly, and he knelt on the ground. He stuck out his buttocks, unable to make a sound for a long time. It's done. Li Fan let out a long breath, and Yin Kai suddenly pulled out the divine dragon spear, directly pierced it into the commander's temple, and poked it out from the other end. The commander's weak point had been broken, so he could not circulate the minor phaseless divine technique. He was easily killed by a headshot. If he doesn't die, then we will die. Yin Kai held the wound on his abdomen. Although he had performed emergency hemostasis, it still looked quite painful. Little kid, don't forget the promised wine. Monk Nyo licked his lips, glanced at Li Fan, and then looked at Yin Kai. Lord Zeng has an important banquet tonight, so I can't accompany you too. See you later. With that, Monk Nyo patted the dust off his body, turned around, and ran outside. Very quickly, he disappeared without a trace. The two of us should escape as well. Li Fan helped Yin Kai up. If we don't leave now, we won't be able to. Heh, from now on, I will also be on the blacklist. Yin Kai laughed proudly. The two of us worked together to kill a commander who had reached the peak of perfection. Our names are going to be sung in the martial world. You should take your medicine. Li Fan rolled his eyes. As he led Yin Kai out silently, he reminded him, this is the embroidered uniform guard. The embroidered uniform guard will not allow the news of their commander being killed to spread. You're right. Yin Kai was somewhat stunned. Could it be that the commander was killed for nothing? But Li Fan admired Yin Kai. When he was still ruthless, he was definitely not careless. He was the real veteran of the martial world. He was still lacking. When they left, they still had to pass by the reference room. Li Fan directly carried Yin Kai and used his qinggong to leap over the wall outside the reference room so that she wouldn't see their figures. If this woman came out to stop them, then they would all die here. You're so domineering. Yin Kai leaned into Li Fan's embrace and suddenly said softly, my little heart is beating so fast, get lost. Li Fan threw him on the ground. Walk by yourself. Damn, I was just joking with Brother Li. Why so serious? Yin Kai rolled his eyes. He stood up from the ground and walked into the elevator with Li Fan. Tell me, are you gay? Li Fan leaned on the other side of the elevator, trying to keep a distance from Yin Kai. Of course not. Oh, I believe you. But can you stay a little further away from me? Take a step back. The elevator is only so big. Where else can I go? You call this believing me? There's an old saying. I don't know if you've heard it before. What? Yin Kai asked. Never have the heart to harm others, but never have the heart to guard against others. Li Fan replied expressionlessly, damn, heaven and earth can be my witness. Brother Li, I don't have the heart to harm you. Yin Kai raised 3 fingers. It's even worse if you have other intentions. Brother Li, this isn't very good. I have a big hole in my body. How can you treat me like this? I deeply regret it. But you can't treat yourself as a woman just because you have a hole in your body. Damn you. Yin Kai couldn't help but curse. I'm in great pain now. I don't want to quarrel with you. This Taoist's sexual orientation is very normal. Then I'll introduce a girlfriend to you later. Li Fan said, you're as beautiful as a flower. There must be a woman who likes you. No, women are too noisy. Yen Kai said without hesitation. Then I'll introduce a boyfriend to you. Yen Kai burst into tears. Looks like I can't clear my name even if I jump into the Yellow River. The elevator quietly came to the upper floor. Li Fan immediately got off the elevator as if there were some germs in the elevator. Brotherly, give me a hand. Women are troublesome. Damn, this Taoist is a man. Tomboys are troublesome. I'll fight you. Yin Kai covered his wound. He was so angry that his stomach was twitching. Li Fan walked over, helped him up, and walked outside. Yin Kai thought, although this guy has a bad mouth, he has a good heart. I'm just giving you a hand. You're not allowed to have any improper thoughts. The two of them fled all the way to the entrance of the parking lot. But the originally open door suddenly closed with a crash. They found out that we've escaped. Li Fan looked around and found that the parking lot was getting quieter. He could not help but frown. Brotherly, are you afraid of death? Yin Kai suddenly asked. Of course I am. Li Fan smiled. I don't want to die here. The feng shui here is too bad. Then you go. Leave this place to me. Yin Kai glanced at the car next to him. You go and hide under that car. They won't be able to find you. I have blood on me. I can't hide. Fart. Li Fan stared at him. Even if you're gay, I'll take you out alive. Damn, this Taoist is not gay. Fine. I'll pretend you're not gay. While the two of them were bickering, more than a dozen embroidered uniform guards had already surrounded them. Chapter 212. Among the dozen embroidered uniform guards, there was a squad commander, and a Baihu. They had seen this Baihu before. He was the one who mocked Yin Kai earlier. The two of you are indeed traitors. The Baihu placed his hands on his waist and looked at Li Fan and Yin Kai with disdain. I knew the two of you were up to no good. I don't know what you did to the commander, but he actually died. But with just the two of you squad commanders, do you think you can go against the heavens? He looked at Yin Kai. Yin Kai, a few years ago, you were indeed very powerful. But now, you are just a stray dog. Just a stray dog, and you still want to ascend to the heavens? Look at you now. You can't even keep your intestines. So ugly. Who do you think you are? How dare you lecture me? Yin Kai looked at this arrogant Baihu and noticed that his legs were strong. It was obvious that he was an expert in leg training. You don't even know my name. How ignorant. The Baihu sneered. But you are only at this level. Let me tell you, my surname is Xiang, and my name is Chong. Xiang Chong? Yin Kai muttered. You are from the Xiang family? That's right. I am the descendant of the Xiang family's King Kong legs. Xiang Chong said proudly. There are 3 types of King Kong legs now. Our Xiang family has the best one. When it came to me, I have already trained it into mighty King Kong legs. As he said that, he lifted his leg and kicked. The air was torn apart by this kick. He turned around and kicked the car next to him. This black Honda slid out from the kick. There was a deep footprint on the car door. Which one of you can withstand my kick? Yin Kai, can you? You are basically a half-dead person now. You rest here. Li Fan helped Yin Kai to the side of the car. He took 2 steps forward and hooked his finger at Xiang Chong. Leave this to me. Who do you think you are? Xiang Chong scolded. Li Fan slowly took off his mask. My name is Li Fan, and I'm the one who can help you become a Qianhu. When he took off his mask, Xiang Chong's body trembled, and then his eyes were filled with excitement. Good. This is really a case of wearing out iron shoes and fruitless searching, only to find it by chance without even looking for it. Xiang Chong laughed heartily. I'll destroy you right now and make you a stepping stone on my road to success. As he spoke, he suddenly jumped up and spun in the air, sweeping his leg towards Li Fan's face. Li Fan took a step back and kicked the pillar beside him. Bang! A large piece of the pillar was immediately smashed by the kick, and Xiang Chong kicked it again. Li Fan raised his palm, and his leg was blocked by Li Fan's hand. What? Xiang Chong was taken aback. The power of his kick was enough to shatter gold and break jade, but it was actually blocked by this brat's palm? So funny. Li Fan smiled. With your mediocre martial arts, you're not even as good as Li Wenjua, and you still want to be promoted to Qianhu? Bullshit. Who said I am not as good as Li Wenjua? I am Xiang Chong, the descendant of the Xiang clan, an expert of great strength King Kong leg. Xiang Chong roared, then twisted his body and continuously kicked towards Li Fan. Li Fan moved his body to the side and dodged Xiang Chong's continuous kicks. At the same time, he kicked Xiang Chong's waist, sending him flying and crashing into a car behind him. You think you're worthy of being called Great Strength King Kong leg? Li Fan pointed his finger at the ground. You're more like an old lady with a bowed leg. You dare to insult me. Xiang Chong crawled up, his eyes flashing with anger. No one has ever dared to insult me like this. I am Xiang Chong, Xiang Baihu, and a man destined to be a commander. Come. Li Fan hooked his finger at Xiang Chong. Then let's fight again. My condition today might not be too good. Xiang Chong coughed twice. Wait until my condition is better, then let's fight again. Good condition your mother. Li Fan took the initiative to attack Xiang Chong. Xiang Chong used great strength King Kong leg, preparing to block Li Fan's attack. But Li Fan's white crane nod was faster and directly hit Xiang Chong's chest. Bang! Xiang Chong's body heavily smashed into the ground, causing it to crack. Father Bear Pile Driver. Li Fan grabbed Xiang Chong's body with one hand and ruthlessly smashed him into the ground again. Bang! 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 After smashing 3 times in a row, Xiang Chong spat out a mouthful of blood and completely fainted. With this, you can also become a Baihu of the Genie Guards? Li Fan ridiculed. Let's go back and learn the minor phaseless divine technique first. Seeing Xiang Chong and Baihu lying on the ground, the surrounding Genie Guards couldn't help but take a few steps back, somewhat afraid of Li Fan's prestige. This Li Fan is so fierce. No wonder his name is on the blacklist. He really has some strength. If you guys don't make a move, then I will leave. As Li Fan spoke, he turned around and used a white deer reverse kick on the iron door that was closed. Dang! Li Fan's right leg was shocked numb, but the iron door didn't move at all. Damn, this door is at least 20 centimeters thick. Li Fan rubbed his sore calf and complained, Do you have to be so fierce? We may not be able to escape. Yin Kai bitterly smiled. I forgot to mention the thickness of this door. A normal person will never be able to break through it. That's hard to say. Li Fan was about to make a move, but he suddenly felt a chill behind him and quickly stepped to the side. Shwa! The saber aura cut the iron door in half, falling to the ground. Li Fan and Yin Kai's expression became serious. The Genie Guards also separated to the side, and a woman slowly walked over. She wore a black shirt, black pants, and a black waistcoat with golden embroidery. This woman is as beautiful as a painting, but unfortunately, she is blind in one eye, wearing a black eye patch, hiding infinite murderous intent. She was holding a black saber in her hand. The iron door was slashed open by this saber. Li Fan's forehead is covered with cold sweat. This woman's saber technique is a bit too powerful. No wonder even Moronging warned me to be careful of this woman. Is there anything that this saber can't cut? Jiang Hu is too heartless. A saber that breaks the soul. Yin Kai bitterly smiled. I didn't expect that I, Yin Kai, will die in the hands of this heartless saber today. Fine, it's not a loss, it's a worthy death. Fuck, say something lucky. Li Fan is not happy. I think I am blessed and will certainly not die. When he said this, Yushi has already walked in front of him. Li Fan looked at the girl in front of him and said, Can you talk to me, big sister? Are you mute? I never talk to the dead. Yushi finally spoke. Her voice is quite pleasant to hear. Chapter 213. Interesting question. Li Fan laughed. How do you know I'm dead? I saw the aura of death. Yu Shi's words were simple and concise. Oh, so it's a Chinibyu. Li Fan sighed. No wonder you don't like to talk. Do you think you're cool? The number one assassin in the world? The number one assassin in the world is not me. Yu Shi said very seriously. I am the Imperial Secret Service, Heartless Saber. With that, Yu Shi twirled her saber. If you have something to say, go talk to the King of Hell. King of Hell? I think you're a female King of Hell. As Li Fan dodged Yu Shi's saber in a sorry state, he didn't forget to ridicule her. You're a little girl, fighting and killing every day? Yet you're still so Chinibyu. Will you be able to find a boyfriend in the future? Although Yu Shi's saber was very fast, it was basically invisible. But Li Fan was an exception. As long as Li Fan circulated his true chi, all of the opponent's attacks would be slowed down. After Yu Shi attacked twice, she realized that she couldn't cut Li Fan, causing her eyebrows to frown slightly. Obviously, this was the first time she encountered such a situation. Her saber had never missed before, but on this man called Li Fan, it was ineffective again and again. Could it be that this man has some kind of magical power? Look at you, so fierce, and you like to play with sabers and swords. You'll be hated by men. Li Fan was still teasing Yu Shi. Yu Shi frowned, suddenly sheathed her saber, and then half-squatted, her right hand holding the saber hilt, her eyes locked onto Li Fan. This move was called katana in Japan. Actually, it was just a drawing technique, and for a saber user, it was a compulsory course. Yu Shi used the true chi that burst out when she drew her saber to tear the air, forming an invisible blade. Furthermore, the speed of this move was so fast that ordinary people couldn't see it with their naked eyes. Including Li Fan, the moment Yu Shi drew her saber, he could only see the air in front of him distort. Brotherly, be careful. Yin Kai issued a warning, but Li Fan had already sensed the danger. His body suddenly fell to the ground. Whoosh! Li Fan felt his scalp go numb. About 30 centimeters above the ground, everything was cut in half. The edge of the knife was smooth and tidy, without the slightest bit of roughness. This kind of saber technique was really superb. If Li Fan hadn't dodged in time, his body might have been cut in half. How terrifying! Li Fan was speechless. This woman was simply a ghost who wanted to take his life. You are very lucky. Yu Shi actually felt a little emotional. Cockroach life. Before I become number one in the world, I will not die like this. As Li Fan spoke, his body suddenly bounced off the ground, and like a black toad crossing the water, he almost instantly appeared under Yu Shi. Yu Shi remained calm as she stabbed the black saber into the ground. Golden toad spitting pearl. However, Li Fan's body suddenly stopped, and then both of his hands gathered the true chi in his body and suddenly pushed out from his palms. A large ball of true chi burst out, condensing into a ball, and hit Yu Shi's saber. And when Li Fan received the power of the true chi, his body also overcame the inertia and abruptly stopped. Clang! The black saber that had never failed was actually bounced off by Li Fan's ball of true chi. Yu Shi was a little surprised, but Li Fan had already followed her like a shadow, directly sticking close to her. There was only one thought in Li Fan's mind at this time. To deal with Yu Shi, he would use the move that Moronging taught him. There was no other way. Yu Shi controlled the long saber, preparing to repel Li Fan. But Li Fan's hands grabbed Yu Shi's wrist like a deer lock, forcibly locking her attack. Although Yu Shi was experienced and strong, she obviously did not expect Li Fan to have so many strange moves, and was temporarily controlled. Although he could only control her for a second, it was enough for Li Fan. Yu Shi was about to use her true chi to shake off Li Fan, but Li Fan had already sealed her mouth. This super expert of the Brocade Clan Guard, the Heartless Saber of the Black Guard, was actually kissed. The surrounding Brocade Clan Guards were all shocked. Was that Li Fan crazy? Was he going to die as a playboy? I don't know why, but I suddenly envy him. What was the saying again? Dying under a peony flower. Becoming a ghost would also be romantic. That was probably the feeling. This was also the first time Yu Shi felt so shocked. In the past, She had never been so scared when she was stabbed 7 times by a sword master and was on the verge of death. Her body was trembling slightly. She, the dignified, heartless saber, was actually kissed by someone? But Li Fan felt that this girl's lips were quite soft. Don't be fooled by her cold appearance. Her body is actually very honest. At the same time, a trickle of true qi flowed out of Yushi's body, through her lips and tongue, into Li Fan's mouth, and then into his meridians again. Li Fan couldn't describe the feeling. This was the second time he had sucked other people's true qi from his mouth. The first time was with Murong, but that time was too fast. Before Li Fan could react, he had already been pushed away by Murong. This time, Li Fan really felt the effect of the pure yang body. He felt as if he was sucking some kind of sweet dew from Yushi's body. It was an addictive feeling. After kissing for about 2 seconds, Yushi finally pushed Li Fan away. At the same time, her face was pale and her footsteps were weak. It was obvious that Li Fan's pure yang body had sucked away a lot of her true qi. The effect of the pure yang body was much better than the dragon toad absorption of water, especially without any waste or side effects. Li Fan estimated that in these 2 short seconds, he had absorbed 30% of Yushi's power. Yushi had about the strength of 6 dragons, and Li Fan had sucked away 1 dragon's strength. She also cultivated the small phaseless divine art. After being sucked away by Li Fan, his strength had increased by leaps and bounds. However, this power also needed to be refined by Li Fan, otherwise it would be difficult to use it in a short time. Let's run. This move was indeed very effective on Yushi. It had both physical and psychological effects. After he settled Yushi, he didn't care about anything else. He directly picked up Yin Kai and rushed out of the door that Yushi had opened. After rushing out of the door, Li Fan was surprised to find that they were still in the parking lot of the shopping mall. It was just that their location was 1 floor below the parking lot, and after going up, they were back at the shopping mall. I really didn't expect this. Yin Kai smiled bitterly. Who would have thought that this is the branch? Don't think about this. I'll bring you to heal your injuries. Chapter 2:14. So, this is the reason why you brought a wild man home? Murong crossed her arms, looked at Li Fan, and slightly raised her eyebrows. That sounds too strange. Li Fan looked at Yin Kai, who was unconscious on the sofa. And no matter what, he saved me once. I owe him a favor. You're already in debt. I'm afraid you're going to be on the blacklist of the Genie Guard, and you still have the leisure to care about others? You're wrong after all. I've been on the blacklist for a long time. Li Fan chuckled, which made Murong roll her eyes. Forget it. Anyway, do what you want. This Wudong disciple was shot. The opponent's marksmanship is superb, and several of his intestines were broken. Don't you have some ancestral injury medicine? Li Fan quickly asked. How about applying some to him? That's injury medicine, not the elixir of immortality. Murong was angry. His intestines are broken. What's the use of looking for me? Quickly send him to the hospital. If not for his strong internal energy, I'm afraid he's already dead. Miss, he has a high fever. It's terrible. Tai Zhu touched Yin Kai's forehead, turned his head and said, quickly send him to the hospital. Li Fan also knew the situation was dangerous. There was a disease. It was better to see a doctor. For this kind of injury, we must find a Western surgeon and arrange an immediate operation. Taizhu, send a car to send him. Okay. Taizhu immediately went out to start the car. Li Fan sent Yin Kai to the car, originally wanted to go to the hospital, but he received a phone call. Benefactor, I have something to do here. The phone call was from Guan Wanbao, using Huang Lei's mobile phone. After all, although Guan Wanbao lived in the 21st century, he did not even use a mobile phone, maintaining the style of the ancient people. What's the matter? Someone asked me to throw darts. Guan Wenbao's voice was a little low, and he was a little surprised. She asked me to help her deliver the goods. Isn't your Guan family escort agency closed? Yes, Guan Wenbao continued, but this person seems to know my father and wants to entrust us with this task. Benefactor, what do you think we should do? Since there's business knocking on my door, I naturally have to accept it. Li Fan chuckled. Anyway, I'm going to reorganize the escort agency sooner or later. Now is the time. Where are you? I'll go find you now. In the billiard hall. All right, wait for me. I'll be right there. Li Fan said goodbye to Morong Ying and went to the billiard hall. You just got home, and you're leaving already? Morong Ying suddenly asked. Yeah, I have something to deal with. Li Fan nodded. Dinner has been prepared at home. Morong Ying said awkwardly. Taiju made it. She's good at cooking. I can only eat it next time. You can enjoy it by yourself first. When I'm done with this matter, I'll come back and have dinner with you. Who wants you to have dinner with me? It's not like I can't eat by myself. Morong Ying turned her head and looked at the painting hanging on the wall. I just feel that Taiju made a little too much. It's a waste for me to eat by myself. My wife is so thrifty. You're really an expert housekeeper. Li Fan cupped his hands. Since you don't need me to accompany you, I'll take my leave. With that, he left the house, looking travel-worn. Damn it. Morong Ying looked in the direction where Li Fan had left and stomped her foot fiercely, seemingly very dissatisfied. But after standing at the door for a long time, she sighed and returned to the dining room. Looking at the table full of delicacies, she seemed to have lost her appetite. At this moment, Li Fan was not in the mood to take care of his fiancée's appetite. Someone had come to ask Guan Wanbao to escort the goods. He did not know if it was a blessing or a curse. This matter concerned Li Fan's future development, so he had to figure it out. The billiard hall was closed early. Guan Wanbao and Huang Lei were sitting inside. Even Little Four Eyes, by Lin Luo, was called over by Li Fan. Seeing Bai Lin Luo sitting there nervously, Li Fan could not help but ask, "What's the matter, Little Four Eyes? Are you nervous after hearing that someone is here to escort the goods?" "No." Bai Lin Luo shook his head. "I'm not nervous about escorting the goods. I skipped cram school to come here, so I'm a little nervous, advisor. Don't be afraid." Huang Lei slapped his thigh and comforted him. "It's just skipping cram school. It's not a big deal. Look at me. I dropped out of school years ago, but I'm still doing well now." Bai Lin Luo pondered for a moment and asked, "Is it too late if I go back to cram school now?" "Fuck, advisor. Are you looking down on me?" "No." Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses and said seriously, "It's the world that looks down on you." "Fuck. All right. Stop fooling around." Li Fan interrupted them and turned to look at Guan Wanbao. "Old Guan, why don't you tell us what's going on?" Everyone quietened down and looked at Guan Wanbao without making a fuss. "She contacted us through a special method of the Guan family." Guan Wanbao said, "Special method? What is it?" Huang Lei could not help but be curious. "Tell me about it." "Messenger pigeons," Guan Wanbao said. "Back then, my father sent out a few homing pigeons. Only the people closest to him would have these homing pigeons. At critical moments, they can find us through these carrier pigeons." "Hey, antique, can't you find a more modern method?" When Huang Lei heard this, he couldn't help but roll his eyes. "What era is this? It's the 21st century, okay? It's an era of information explosion. How can you still use messenger pigeons? Are you playing a spy game with me?" "But I can't use modern things." Guan Wanbao shook his head. "I don't know which pager to use. Chinese characters or numbers. I don't know. Fuck." "That's from the last era. Old Master Guan." Huang Lei was freaking out. He took out his Xiaomi and slapped it on the table. "Now everyone uses this, okay? Oh my god. That's..." Guan Wanbao covered his mouth and looked at the phone. His eyes flashed with surprise. "Are pager machines now so thin? Lei, is this Chinese characters or numbers?" "Fuck you." Huang Lei almost freaked out. "It's a phone. Is it good?" "Phone? What do you mean?" Well, when Huang Lei was about to explain, his phone suddenly vibrated on the table. The look in Guan Wanbao's eyes suddenly became focused and a little more frightened. He subconsciously took a few steps back. Lei, you have such a hobby. Fuck you. Why do you know the word vibrate so well? Stop it. Li Fan scolded. Old Guan, get yourself a phone too. All right, Old Guan, go on. Chapter 215. Li Fan didn't care what Huang Lei's mobile phone could do. He didn't care about these issues. The future of the escort agency was the key to his thinking. The other party asked me to meet at Shangdao Cafe tomorrow. Guan Wenbao said. They said they wanted to talk about it in detail. It's good to talk about it. Li Fan nodded. It's time to settle the matter of our escort agency. Old Guan, do you think the four of us can form an escort agency? It's not a big problem. Guan Wenbao thought for a moment and then said, we can send some small escorts first. You and I can be the escorts. We're not famous, so we can keep a low profile. Modern escort was not like ancient times, where the more people, the better. In modern times, the fewer people, the better. The military counselor will be in charge of giving advice and suggestions. As for Lazy, he can be an escort and help us gather more information and find out more details. Fuck. I can only be a sentry? Huang Lei was very dissatisfied. No way. I'm going to be the boss of City A. In the future, except for my big brother, everyone will have to call me Master Lei. If I'm an escort, how can I show my face in the future? Put it in your trouser pocket. Li Fan stared at Huang Lei. I asked you to practice ape attack. How's it going? Well, big brother, I'm really not cut out for martial arts. Huang Lei smiled apologetically. If you ask me to play King of Fighters or Street Fighter, I promise it won't be a problem. Idiot. Li Fan was speechless. In the future, when we meet an enemy, you'll tell him to go to the game hall and have a showdown with his saber? But it's too hard to practice. Huang Lei complained incessantly and turned to ask Guan Wanbao. Old Guan, is there any way to become an expert in a short time? There is a way. Guan Wanbao thought for a moment and suddenly nodded. Really? Huang Lei became excited when he heard this. It would be great if he could become an expert in a short period of time. In this world, who else could be his opponent in the future? Of course, Big Brother was an exception. Big Brother must be able to bully him. Do you really want to know? Of course, tell me quickly. Go daydream. Guan Wanbao answered this question very seriously, which made Huang Lei extremely speechless. Oh my God. When did Master Guan become so naughty? Huang Lei said angrily, is it really that difficult to become a master in a short period of time? Training is like rowing a boat against the current. If you don't advance, you will fall behind. What you need is patience and time. Li Fan patted Huang Lei's shoulder. Remember not to be greedy and rash. It's impossible to achieve quick results. Then how did you train, big brother? Well, I guess I was lucky. Huang Lei's words made Li Fan speechless. This guy really knows how to pick the right person to ask. I must be one in a million. I want to be lucky too. Good luck. Huang Lei wanted to cry but had no tears. We can talk about that later. Let's get back to the escort agency. Li Fan had to control the direction of the meeting, so they got back to the topic. My savior, I have thought about it. The Guan clan's escort agency has fallen a long time ago. I can't do it alone. Since you want to set up an escort agency, I, Guan Wenbao, will work as an escort for you wholeheartedly from now on. As long as I am alive, my bodyguards are still alive. Thank you, old Guan. Li Fan was quite moved in his heart. Guan Wenbao was definitely worth his ransom. I can do it too. Huang Lei raised his hand high. My lowly life is willing to lead the way for you. Big brother, till death do us part. Not bad. You even know a few idioms. Li Fan nodded as if he was praising him. Hee hee, of course. How can I embarrass Big Brother? Huang Lei chuckled. Don't worry, Big Brother. Even if I'm an escort, I promise I'll do my job well. I won't say anything else. I'll always be by your side. Little Force said with a smile, making Li Fan feel at ease. Looking at these three people of different ages and statuses who were so loyal to him, Li Fan sighed in his heart. This kind of friendship, this kind of life, was something he didn't even dare to imagine in the past. He was no longer an ordinary high school student. All right, since you're all so open-minded, I can't be careless either. Li Fan made a decision and said, our escort agency will be open in the future. Everyone will be my, Li Fan's, brothers from now on. From now on, we'll share blessings and difficulties. You're treating me like an outsider. Little Four quickly changed the topic. He couldn't stand being too emotional. We should at least think of a name for the agency, right? How about Dragon Gate Escort Agency? Huang Lei quickly asked. Fuck off. I want a name that belongs to us. Li Fan slapped Huang Lei's head and asked Guan Wenbao, Old Guan, you're experienced in this. What do you think we should call it? Benefactor, your fist technique is called the Seven Heroes Fist. Why don't we call it the Seven Heroes Escort Agency? No. That's the name of my sect. Li Fan smiled proudly. I plan to build a sect in the future. It'll be called the Seven Heroes Sect. That's why we need another name. Big brother, if you build a sect, I want to be the eldest disciple. Huang Lei quickly raised his hand and introduced himself excitedly. Fuck off. Eldest disciple? Other than the size of your dick, which part of you is big? Big brother. You can't keep saying this. Huang Lei was in tears. Every time you mention it, I don't know if I should be happy or sad. You're talented. What's there to be sad about? Li Fan touched his chin and thought for a while. I've already thought of a job for you. I guarantee you'll make money. What job, big brother? Isn't it very eye-catching? It's quite eye-catching. Li Fan chuckled. You'll be a gigolo. Although you're a little old, you're a late bloomer. I guarantee your business will be great. You'll be so busy that you don't even have time to wear pants. Huang Lei was speechless for the first time. Why don't we call it extraordinary? Little Four Eyes gave his final opinion. It's a pun. What do you think? Not bad. Extraordinary. Extraordinary. I think it's extraordinary. Very good. As long as you're satisfied. Bai Linlua's eyes narrowed into slits. Fuck. If I knew this would happen, I should have finished middle school. Wang Lei mumbled to himself. Also, we shouldn't call it an escort agency. That's too old-fashioned. Li Fan waved his hand. Since we're establishing an escort agency, we should have a new generation's image. I've decided. We'll call it Extraordinary Express. Chapter 216. Phenomenal Express Delivery? In Xiaoru frowned as she looked at the three young men sitting in front of her. I'm looking for the Guan Family Security Agency, not Phenomenal Express Delivery. Besides, I'm not a courier. You've got the wrong person. In Xiaoru was about to stand up and leave. However, Li Fan smiled and added, My friend, since you're looking for the Guan Family Security Agency, you've got the right person. The one sitting next to me is the only heir of the Guan Family Security Agency, Guan Wenbao. In Xiaoru stopped in her tracks and looked back at Guan Wenbao. His face was flushed, and he had thick eyebrows and big eyes. He did look like a member of the Guan family. She had arranged to meet him today to escort the escort. However, things seemed to have gone beyond her expectations. What the hell was Phenomenal Express Delivery? If you're looking for an escort, you've got the right person. Li Fan tried his best to recommend himself. My martial arts skills are about the same as this man's. Plus, Phenomenal Express has a good reputation. If they ask us to escort the goods, we won't alert the wrong people and leak the wrong information. No, I don't trust you. In Xiaoru said bluntly. Missing, if you had any other choice, why didn't you choose one of those famous escort agencies? Why did you choose the Guan family's escort agency, which has been in decline for God knows how long and has long vanished from the Jianghu? Li Fan gave him a look. Little Four, who had been quietly listening to music, took off his headphones, adjusted his glasses, and said to In Xiaoru, If I'm not wrong, Missine, You can't find another escort agency, right? Then let me guess, what's the reason why you didn't look for other big escort agencies? Either there's a problem with the item you want to escort, or there's a problem with your identity. Regardless, you have no choice but to choose us, am I right? In Xiaoru was speechless for a long time. This little Four Eyes was so cunning. His worries had all been divined by him. Missine, you don't have to worry too much. Li Fan fiddled with his fingers and said calmly, with Guan Wenbao around, whatever the Guan family has, Fifan Express will have. This time, we will definitely complete the task for you. Furthermore, we will not leak this mission to any party. As for the price, the market price is fine. We won't ask for a single cent more. If the mission fails, you can have my head. What do you think of these conditions? Tisk, what's the use of your head? In Xiaoru curled her lips. Useless chips. Then what do you want? In Xiaoru glanced at the three of them. If the mission fails, I want all three of you to be my subordinates. Sure, but there's more than three of us. There's still one more. Can we count them together? Li Fan asked with a smile. In Xiaoru looked them up and down. She looked at the awe-inspiring Li Fan, the tall and mighty Guan Wenbao, and the scheming little Four Eyes. She thought to herself that the other person was probably an expert who was not inferior to them. Okay, that's great. But where's the fourth person? In Xiaoru looked left and right. Li Fan clapped his hands. Look, he's coming. In Xiaoru turned around and saw a man wearing a checkered shirt, dirty jeans, and a pair of black canvas shoes walking over. That man walked while holding his buttocks. His face was filled with pain. Damn, big brother. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have eaten so much hot pot in the morning. The spicy soup almost made my buttocks explode. In Xiaoru's heart trembled. This is the fourth person? If you can't eat spicy food, then don't eat so much. Li Fan complained. You have no self-control at all. In theory, diarrhea won't make your anus explode. Little Four Eyes pushed his glasses up and said seriously, but anal prolapse is a possibility. If you don't control your diet, you'll have to quit this mission. Hey, don't, masters. I was wrong, okay? Huang Lei said hurriedly, this meal is on me. Damn, look at this curry. It's so spicy. In Xiaoru vomited. Fuck off. Don't you know how to talk? Sit down if you don't. Li Fan shouted angrily. Look, our distinguished client, Missine, is so angry that she vomited. In Xiaoru retched and thought, I'm so disgusted that I'm going to vomit. Guan Wenbao didn't say anything. He took out a box of diarrhea and pushed it in front of Huang Lei. Io, old Guan cares about me. Huang Lei took 2 pills. But why do you have this stuff? I've been traveling in this world for a long time. Of course, I have prepared some medicine. Guan Wenbao said calmly, I have Yuding. Do you want to? Fuck off. You're a pervert. You're discrediting the Guan family. You misunderstood me. I just like to prepare a little of every kind of medicine. Guan Wenbao could be said to be a mobile medicine jar. The pouch wrapped around his waist was filled with all kinds of pills. Hey, old Guan, do you have Viagra? Li Fan looked at Guan Wenbao with a smirk. What's that? Theoretically, it's Viagra. It's used to boost one's sex drive. Bai Lin Luo explained. Oh, I don't have any. Guan Wenbao shook his head and took out a black thing from his pocket, but I have an old dog's penis. It's quite effective. Would you like to try it, benefactor? Forget it. Put that thing away. Yes, benefactor. You guys. In Xiaoru looked at the 4 people who suddenly changed their demeanor. Her face was covered in cold sweat. I think I should go to another escort agency. Missine, Fifan Express delivery is your best and only choice. Li Fan said, if you're worried, you can choose to escort with us. That's fine, but I still don't trust you guys. In Xiaoru rolled her eyes. I want to test your strength first. Huh, what a joke. Huang Lei looked at In Xiaoru disdainfully. Who do you think my brother is? He's so powerful. My brother usually keeps a low profile, but his true chi is very powerful. Oh? How powerful is he? My brother can shoot down a plane with his pants down. Fuck off. Li Fan kicked Huang Lei under the table. Can't this guy shut his mouth? Enough. I don't want to listen to you guys anymore. That's enough. In Xiaoru rubbed her temples. If you want me to escort with you, you have to pass my test first. Chapter 217. Test? What kind of test? Huang Lei was a little unhappy. Why are you so nosy? Our Fiefan Express will definitely have a bright future. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that we're the best escort agency in the world. It's your honor to be able to run escort for you. You still have nothing to do? Are you not putting us in your eyes? Who's your big brother? Let's talk about it. Lei, shut up. Li Fan glared at him. This guy, what the hell was he doing using the tricks of the society? Missine, please tell us what you want us to test you. Li Fan's expression was indifferent. Other than not plucking the stars and the moon, tell us what you want and we'll accept it. Li Fan was very confident. Since he dared to open this escort agency, he naturally wouldn't be afraid of any form of challenge. It's very simple. In Xiaoru took out her wallet and placed it on the table. This is my wallet. The four of you will take it. As long as you can bring it out of this mall without anyone stealing it, you'll be considered qualified. How about that? Isn't that easy? Huang Lei laughed heartily. I, Huang Banxian, am not good at many things in my life, but I'm good at safety. All these years, I've never lost my wallet. Big brother, you don't have to do this. Let me bring it out. All right. Unexpectedly, Li Fan really agreed. He took the wallet and stuffed it into Huang Lei's pocket. Walk outside. The three of us will protect you. All right, big brother. Leave it to me. Huang Lei rolled up his sleeves and looked very confident. Damn it. How can we, the great Fiefan Express, be looked down upon by a little girl? Today, I'll let her see what an iron trouser pocket is. With that, Huang Lei stood up and walked out. Guan Wanbao and Li Fan also stood up and followed him out. Little Four continued to sit in the dining room calmly and continued to drink his fruit juice. Aren't you coming? In Xiaoru looked at Little Four in confusion. I'm in charge of the overall situation here. Little Four winked at In Xiaoru, causing her to roll her eyes. Then I'm leaving too. Enjoy your drink. In Xiaoru stood up and left the restaurant. However, she didn't know that Little Four had purposely chosen this restaurant because he could see half of the shopping mall from the side window. He put on his headphones and connected to the channel set by the four of them. Military counselor, what the hell is wrong with your brain? It's a little too godly. As Huang Lei walked down the escalator, he spoke into the walkie-talkie. How do you know that this girl will definitely test us? How normal. Little Four Eyes said calmly as he drank his juice. I've said it before, there's definitely something wrong with her or her item. She's definitely looking for a small, unknown escort agency like ours to test our abilities. I took a look just now. This woman's middle finger and index finger are slightly longer. It's obvious that she has practiced some kind of martial arts. You guys have to be careful, especially Lazy. Don't worry, I don't care which shop she's from. She won't be able to do anything to me. Huang Lei said confidently, when I was in the underworld, I've seen some godly thieves. I know what they're capable of. Then what if you lose your item? Li Fan, who was standing beside Huang Lei, asked with a smile. If I lose my item, I'll pull my head off for you to kick as a ball. Huang Lei made a military pledge. We're about to go out. That girl is really bored. Finding such a simple task, isn't she looking down on us brothers? Just when Huang Lei was about to leave the shopping mall, he bumped into a skinny boy. Sorry. The boy lowered his head and turned around to leave. Huang Lei touched his pocket and found his wallet was still inside. Damn, I thought it was a thief. It was a false alarm. But Guan Wenbao grabbed the boy's arm. Stop. Don't run. What are you doing? The boy seemed to be afraid as he looked at Guan Wenbao in horror. Don't think I can't see it. I've smelled your scent. Guan Wenbao seemed to have a dog's nose. Missine, let's end the show here. Not bad. You found me. A familiar woman's voice came out from the boy's mouth. But it's too late. With that, he suddenly took out a stack of banknotes from his pocket and threw them into the air. The shopping mall is throwing money. Everyone grab it. In Xiaoru shouted. When the surrounding customers saw the banknotes on the ground and heard that it was from the shopping mall, they immediately rushed over. Throwing money tactic. This trick was indeed powerful. Those customers, regardless of anything, crazily grabbed the money. Soon, Li Fan and the others were squeezed into a group. Although Guan Wanbao has kung fu, being squeezed by so many people, he couldn't keep his calm. After he stabilized his body, he found out that In Xiaoru had already left. Oh no, Guan Wanbao exclaimed, but In Xiaoru's figure was nowhere to be seen. It's okay, the wallet is still here. Wang Lei squeezed out of the crowd and walked to the entrance of the shopping mall. He took out the wallet from his pocket, but it was not a wallet at all. It was a cardboard case. It was unknown when it was stuffed into Huang Lei's pocket. What's the situation? Huang Lei was shocked. Why did you change it? When I bumped into you just now, I changed it for you. Li Fan said casually, this Miss Yin's technique is very good. You're not her opponent. Oh my God. Is this business ruined in my hands? Huang Lei cried, brother. This is all my fault. I was too arrogant and thought that I could settle this matter. It's okay. Li Fan comforted Huang Lei. You did well? Huang Lei was dumbfounded. Did his brother not do business that he even spoke in a strange tone? In Xiaoru walked out angrily and said to Li Fan, you guys won. What's the situation? Before Huang Lei could react, Li Fan took out In Xiaoru's wallet from his pocket. Hey, why is the wallet with you, brother? Huang Lei blinked his eyes. Li Fan said with a smile, I used the great sage picking star technique. The moment I put the wallet in your pocket, I had already swapped it. Fuck, big brother, you're really astute. No, it's planning ahead. Your intelligence is amazing. Li Fan rolled his eyes. What kind of metaphor is this? Missing, did we pass this test? Li Fan asked. You cheated. In Xiaoru was somewhat unhappy. She seemed to be depressed about her failure. Chapter 218. The art of war is deceitful. Li Fan was not angry and said slowly, if you don't use this method, there is another way to safely send things to the door. What way? To kill you on the spot. A black light flashed in Li Fan's eyes, sending chills down In Xiaoru's spine. Was this Li Fan good or evil? What do you think, Missine? Can we talk about the cooperation again? In Xiaoru thought for a long time and finally nodded. Okay, it seems like it's fated. Since that's the case, let's talk somewhere else. Where's your escort agency? It's not far from here. Old Guan, drive Missine, and we'll take a taxi back. Li Fan's heart was finally relieved. In Xiaoru was still wondering if it was a sports car that could only seat 2 people. When Guan Wanbao rode over on a spring breeze motorcycle, In Xiaoru had a headache. Your escort agency is really simple. That's right. Everything in our agency is simple now. Li Fan was also thick-skinned and directly admitted. I have to carry on the fine tradition of our ancestors and inherit the spirit of hardworking, thrifty, and simple. In Xiaoru was speechless, but she could only follow the host's wishes. She sat on the back seat of Guan Wanbao's motorcycle, but Guan Wanbao didn't start it. Let's go. What are you waiting for? In Xiaoru urged him. Missing. You haven't put on a helmet. Guan Wanbao's words made In Xiaoru collapse. Gosh, is it serious? You have to obey the traffic rules. With that, Guan Wanbao took out a helmet from the side pocket and put it on carefully. In Xiaoru cursed in her heart. This man was too stubborn. If the motorcycle had a seatbelt, he would have tied her up. They were all martial artists, and she wouldn't die if she didn't wear a helmet. But Guan Wanbao didn't start the car, so she had no choice but to take out a yellow safety helmet from the bag next to her and put it on her head. Humph. My hair is all messed up now. Missine, hold on tight. I'm on my way. My car has a lot of horsepower, so be careful. In Xiaoru held onto the seat tightly to prevent herself from being thrown off. Guan Wanbao finally started the car, but after driving for a distance, In Xiaoru broke out in a cold sweat. Can't you ride faster? The motorcycle cannot exceed 30 miles per hour. Guan Wanbao said anxiously, I'm already at the speed limit of 31. I'm over the speed limit. Fuck your grandpa, 31 miles per hour wearing your sister's safety helmet. In Xiaoru couldn't help but curse. These are the rules. My father once told me that as an escort, I must follow the rules wherever I go. This is the basic rule of an escort. I'm really drunk. In Xiaoru felt like she was going to vomit blood. Why is everyone at Phenomenal Express acting like a psychopath? Was it really the right thing to ask them to do this mission? But Little Four Eyes' analysis was right. Other than them, she couldn't find anyone else. It would be really difficult for her to send this thing back. After thinking about it, this was the only way. In Xiaoru didn't want to make do, but she didn't have any other options. Moreover, this man named Li Fan seemed to have some real skills. After all, this man was the first one who could deceive her in terms of technique. Fifan Express was indeed not far from the mall, but when In Xiaoru arrived, she felt like crying. How could this place be called a company? Wasn't this a billiard hall? The signboard was new, Fifan Billiard Hall. For some reason, In Xiaoru felt like she had been tricked. Is this really an escort agency? In Xiaoru stared blankly at the huge signboard above her head and was speechless for a long time. Of course it's an escort agency. I guarantee it's real. Huang Lei had taken a taxi back, so he had arrived early and was waiting for them at the entrance. Old Guan, did you drive 30 miles per hour again? Huang Lei didn't forget to mock Guan Wanbao. If you're like this, you might as well change to an electric scooter or even a bicycle. You're like an old lady. Nonsense. Guan Wanbao's face was red with anger. I drove 31 miles per hour this time. Fuck, you drove 31 miles per hour? Huang Lei guffawed. I can run faster than you. Humph, you don't know Qinggong. Guan Wanbao didn't believe Li Fan's nonsense. You'll have to practice Qinggong for 10 years if you want to catch up to my beloved car. What are you so proud of? Believe it or not, I'll puncture your tires tonight. As soon as he finished speaking, Guan Wanbao took out his crescent blade from the car. I'll fight whoever dares to touch my car. All right, you two stop arguing. Li Fan felt that Guan Wanbao was the same as Yin Kai. Both of them were fetishes. However, it was understandable that Guan Wanbao cared about his motorcycle, but Yin Kai cared about his electric scooter, which was incomprehensible. He walked out, stopped the two guys who wanted to continue arguing, and said to In Xiaoru, Missine, I'm sorry. Missine, I'm sorry for making you laugh. Please. In Xiaoru could only sigh and follow Li Fan into the billiard hall. Missine, you don't know, but our billiard hall's business is booming today. Huang Lei said to In Xiaoru. Usually, we make hundreds of thousands of yuan a day. Our business is booming. But today, in order to meet Miss In, our eldest brother tearfully closed the door early. We're going to lose a lot of money again. Looking at the 4 tables in the billiard hall, In Xiaoru wiped the cold sweat off her forehead. It would be a miracle if this place could make hundreds of thousands of yuan a day. Nonsense. How can there be hundreds of thousands of yuan a day? Li Fan glared at Huang Lei and said solemnly, Miss In, don't listen to his nonsense. Hundreds of thousands of yuan a day is pure nonsense. It's only 20 or 30,000, barely getting by, barely getting by. Li Fan's ability to lie through his teeth shocked In Xiaoru. Did I come to a black shop by mistake? Are the few of you escorts or not? In Xiaoru's heart was a little perturbed. I'm not an escort, I'm an escort. Huang Lei revealed his identity. I'm just a future ace escort. The two of us are escorts. Li Fan held Guan Wenbao's shoulder. I guarantee that your escorts will be delivered safely. Don't worry. All right. Since I've decided to use you guys, let's talk about our mission. Why don't you show us something first? Guan Wenbao was very cautious as he asked. I don't have it with me, but I can tell you what it is. Yin Xiaoru confidently said, it's a palm-sized golden Buddha. Chapter 219. Golden Buddha? Li Fan frowned slightly. He was even more certain when Yin Xiaoru handed him a photo. Flying cat. Oh, flying cat. I thought I would never see you again. I didn't expect you to send yourself to me. Li Fan muttered in his heart. It was useless to catch this flying cat now. Where are you sending it, Missine? Li Fan did not mention this matter. He still asked about the escorting of the bodyguards. Not far. It's in the neighboring Flying Flower Town. Flying Flower Town? Li Fan knew this town. It was in B City, which was not far from a city. It took about 3 hours to drive there. It's so close. Can't you go there yourself? No. Yin Xiaoru shook her head. This thing of mine can't see the light. It's an antique. It can't pass the security check. If I drive myself, there will be people stopping me on the way. To tell you the truth, although my Qinggong is not bad, my martial arts is a bit lacking. Especially if I run around continuously, my stamina won't be able to keep up. So, I need someone to help me escort this time. This thing of yours must be very valuable, right? Li Fan calculated. An antique golden Buddha. You've made a fortune, Missine. This is not for sale. Yin Xiaoru said indifferently. How about it? Can you deliver it? It's a day's journey. No problem. Li Fan did a rough calculation. But what about the payment? I'm very poor. Yin Xiaoru laughed. Li Fan also laughed. Missine, you were very generous when you threw money in the mall just now. Hee, what I threw was fake money. Yin Xiaoru couldn't help but laugh. The potion on it only has an effect of 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, it will become ordinary paper. Li Fan wanted to scold her for being a thief. But considering that she was his business partner, he endured it. There was a saying that went, my client has abused me 1,000 times, but I treat my client like my first love. Then, Miss Yin, name your price. Li Fan decided to probe Miss Yin's background first. Yin Xiaoru stretched out 5 fingers. Huang Lei asked, 50,000? 500. Damn, are you kidding me? Li Fan couldn't take it anymore despite his good temper. 500 isn't even enough for a round trip, okay? I have such a big family to feed. Don't they need money to eat? Then I'll just add a point. Yin Xiaoru stretched out 6 fingers. 600 should be enough, right? Looks like we can't go through with this business. Let's all go home and find our own mothers. Li Fan sighed and shrugged his shoulders, indicating that they were disbanding. I'm already very sincere. Yin Xiaoru hurriedly said, you guys, don't be too greedy. We're greedy? Big sister, are you kidding me? Li Fan was speechless. No matter how small our escort agency is, we still have to risk our lives to escort the goods for you, right? As for you, you want to buy our lives with just $600? Sorry, our lives aren't that cheap. You should find another agency. Don't be so agitated. Yin Xiaoru saw that Li Fan was really angry and quickly said, then I'll add more money. Illegal goods, delivery distance 80 kilometers, expert, 2 million. Guan Wenbao saw Li Fan's gaze and knew what he meant. He immediately gave an official price. I don't have that much money. I'll give you a 10% discount for the new agency. Li Fan stretched out 1 finger. It can't be any less. If it's less than 200,000, we won't make this delivery. That's too much. Yin Xiaoru heard the price and looked a little unhappy. I really don't have that much money. Then how much can you pay? Li Fan didn't say anything but asked tentatively. All my savings, a total of a little more than 50,000. In Xiaoru's face was slightly red, although Li Fan didn't believe it. After all, such a famous robber only had such a small amount of savings. It was really unbelievable. But this time, he also wanted to open a ticket. It was not impossible for him to get a bigger discount than 50,000, not a penny less. This 50,000 was also distributed to his brothers. Li Fan didn't plan to keep it for himself. Let me think about it. In Xiaoru was a little distressed. After all, this 50,000 was all her savings. She planned to use it to buy delicious food. Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. Now counting down, 5, 4. Okay, I agree. In Xiaoru's heart was bleeding, but for the sake of this escort, she still agreed. Then it's settled. I'll help you escort this Friday night. Why Friday? In Xiaoru asked curiously, can't I do it tomorrow? Of course not. Li Fan laughed. Why not? Is there anything more important than the mission? Of course, after all, I still have to take the exam. Li Fan looked down at the time of the weekly mock exam. Just in time. It's almost time. I should also go to the supplementary class. Li Fan and Liao Wushuang had set a time for the supplementary class. His current weak subject was English. If he strengthened it, it should not be a problem for him to pass the exam. What the? You're still a student? I'm a high school student. Li Fan sighed. I even asked for leave today. I missed a lot of classes. Miss In, you see how much we value you. Okay. Then I won't take up your time. What time do we meet on Friday? 5:00 in the afternoon. At the billiard hall. I'll also finish the exam by then. Li Fan clapped his hands. We'll also make an escort plan in these 2 days. Miss In, you can leave in advance and wait for us at Flying Flower Town. That won't do. I have to go with you. In Xiaoru said. Otherwise, I won't feel at ease. Okay, then we just need to protect the things. Your life is not within the scope of our escort. I know. I'll protect myself. You don't need to worry about me. In Xiaoru gave Li Fan, your too stingy look. Li Fan didn't mind. After all, this kind of thing had a clear price. Everyone should make it clear first to avoid disputes later. Miss In, I'll talk to you about the rest of the matter in detail. Bai Lin Luo secretly cursed in his heart. This motherfucker. He didn't let me go to the supplementary class, but he went to the supplementary class. If my grades fall behind, I definitely won't let him off. But the task was more important at the moment. Bai Lin Luo also let Li Fan be. He promised to assist Li Fan, so naturally, he was the leader. Li Fan said goodbye to them and jogged all the way to Liao Wushuang's house. It had to be said that although she was an ordinary teacher, Liao Wushuang's place was very good. In a prosperous area of a city, 360 building, a good single apartment, you're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.